All right, awesome. Well, welcome everybody. How's everybody feeling today? You ready to get some good content? Yes? Yeah. All right, awesome. Who's ready to make some more money today? Yeah. I'm ready to make, I'm always ready to make more money. I don't need it to be a special day to make more money, but cool. Well, thank you so much for coming, everyone. My name is Rob Stein. I'm going to be emceeing the Texas tour today. We're going to get some really incredible content. I encourage you to put your phones on, hey, I'm learning how to make money mode, so leave me alone. I encourage you to get your notepads out, get your pens out, because you're going to get some really incredible content today. And thank you for being here. First and foremost, I would like to take a moment to recognize and thank all of our sponsors for being here today. We have some incredible local sponsors, and I feel extremely privileged to say that I have done business personally with every single one of them. So for the agents and other sponsors in the room, these are local business owners that are the best of the best here in Austin at what they do, and it absolutely behooves you to know them and get them in your book of business. So do make sure you take time to network with them. So we have my go-to lenders here, Austin Mortgage Lending. We have H2H Home Inspections, RX Pest. I've had some people like, why are there cockroaches on my table? RX Pest is here, that's why, and these are the best people in the business that you need to know. We have Mr. Earl Bennett, Transformational Life Center, who can teach you as an agent how to unlock your mind to get ready to make more money. We have Total Pressure Washing back here, and they are my go-to pressure washing company. You got to get that listing looking good prior to hitting the market. That's who you want to talk to. And we also have, I'm very proud to say, my go-to transaction coordination company owner, Christina Foster with Rise Transaction Coordination. She's so good. People are like, how many deals do you have in escrow? I'm like, I don't know, ask Christina. What is it, like 8? Okay, like she's so good I forget about the contract. So please make sure you connect with her as well. And we're gonna hear from some of our sponsors today. I'm also super excited to introduce our panel. So first and foremost, we wouldn't be here without Mr. Sean Kokoska. Thank you, Sean. It's going to take me a few minutes to get through his accolades later, but I will want to introduce him. We have Mr. Grant Wise, who flew in today from Arkansas. He is the owner of Whitley. He is the guru of online lead generation and conversion. Thank you, Grant, for being here today. And I'm happy to get some time to present too. My name is Rob Stein. I'm a multi-business zoning entrepreneur, realtor, and team leader here in Austin. I'm going to be talking about building a referral-based business. First, I would actually like to bring up one of our sponsors. I want to bring up Jackson Roberts with Austin Mortgage Lending. Jackson, thanks for being here. So Jackson, you can just talk loud unless you want to get all up into my chest over here. So Jackson is with Austin Mortgage Lending, okay? They are one of the top 5 brokers in the state. So Jackson, what does it mean to be a broker? What does that broker mean? Why is it more advantageous to shop through a broker?
Right, so as a brokerage, it means that we don't work for one particular bank, or we don't have one underwriter. We have 20 different banks that we can shop through, so it helps us be really competitive with low rates and fees. So like just as a client might want to get a few quotes, when a client's going under contract, I'm looking at 20 different quotes with different banks to try and get them the most competitive rate. It gives us a lot of access to different loan programs, a down payment assistance, a self-employed person with no tax returns writes off all their income. Well, we can do a bank statement loan for them. We can do a non-warrantable condo or a 10% down on a jumbo or maybe a manufactured home or just, you've had it before where clients get turned down elsewhere. It gives us a lot of just options for the client to be a brokerage that way. And even we've done situations where we, lock a rate in one bank, and then if it's a longer lock, then we float in another in case rates get better, and then we can go switch there. So it's to serve the client and give them better options and make sure they're getting the most competitive rate and just the best loan program to fit their needs.
Yeah, so in this kind of market, when buyers are really talking about like interest rates, when we know, realtors know they're still kind of historically low, but buyers are freaking out about it. I have found it very advantageous to say, well, all you need to do is talk to Jackson and Steven because they're going to make sure you get the best rate available no matter what, right?
We'll make sure they get the best rate. We'll shop for them. And then we'll just look at the whole picture, the whole financial picture, because we try to tell them, maybe, hey, let's negotiate and ask for a seller concession here. Let's look at, I know you're really worried about rate here, but this other bank has you at the mortgage insurance that's $50 higher than what our bank can do in mortgage insurance, which would be the equivalent to about, 0.5% or maybe, depending on the loan amount, a quarter point in rate. So, maybe we're looking at them and we're saying, hey, you're so worried about rate here and putting all this money down to for this home, but you have all these high interest credit cards. why don't we use some of that down payment, pay off those credit cards, and you put less down and just, get you out of some financial, get you more financial freedom. So we're able to shop, we're able to look, and we're just trying to give them the best options.
And that creativity really came into play for me. I actually just closed a deal last week with Austin Mortgage Lending. I had a couple that they thought they were going to be cash buyers. Long story short, the cash was not there. They thought it was going to be there. It didn't come. And we looked at other assets. And what we wound up doing is refinancing one of their properties in another state, do a cash out refinance, pay off some debt, and close here. And that was all put together by Jackson and his team. Whereas most lenders would not have thought to be that creative. They really put the pieces of the puzzle together to make it work.
Right. Yeah, it was great. It's one of those where he had a second home in Utah, and we weren't licensed in Utah, so we got him with a great broker there. We were working with, Rob, the transaction coordinator, the processor, and the broker in Utah, and with the client, we, structured it just enough to where he pulled enough cash out, pay off all debt, so that his debt-to-income ratio was low enough to qualify, and he was able to pull out enough cash with that to have enough for a down payment to move forward. And so
it all worked out perfectly.
2 weeks.
Yep. Now, lastly, before we wrap up, communication is one of the primary reasons I work with you, because when I send a text to their processing team, I believe it goes out to all 6 of your processors, right?
That's right.
And then someone always responds right away. Is that how you do it?
Right. So the number one feedback that we get from agents and what they want from a lender is, I want my guy to communicate and be really fast. And so we have one team number, we have one team email, we have 6 people on that team number. So it rings to all of our phones, and we always have someone ready to respond, whether it be nights, weekends. And so our average contract from when we get contract to close, I would say, is probably 19 to 21 days. We are doing 24-hour underwriting approvals, same-day pre-approvals. And so that's what's most important to us, is we are a referral-based business. All our clients are from referrals from realtors or other trusted partners, so we don't have the luxury of not answering your call or not working weekends. And so we take a referral very to heart, and we deliver with really fast communication.
Awesome. Thank you, Jackson. Appreciate it.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. And he's not exaggerating. Like, I have been that agent at 10 o'clock on a Saturday night. Like, I need a pre-approval letter, and it's in my inbox at 10:02. Like, so it happens. Thank you, Jackson. Awesome. All right, everybody ready to learn how to make some money? Yes? Okay, let's get your notepads out. I'm super excited to talk about this topic today. It is my favorite topic to talk about. Building a referral-based business, specifically a 6-figure referral-based business. Where in the 6 figures? That's completely up to you. And we're going to get to that right now, okay? So this is a part of a module from my new online academy I just put out called Earth to Orbit, because I believe launching a real estate career is like launching a rocket into space. It's the hardest part. It has to be done quickly. A billion things can go wrong. But if you move fast enough and get into orbit, then you're in gravity, man. You don't have to push anymore, right? You've got your systems, you've got your 3 to 5 deals coming in per month. You're off of that crazy transactional roller coaster, and that is the goal. By the end of this session, I'm going to teach you how to build an exclusively referral-based business, or get a huge portion of your business coming to you, right? Who wants to have their phone ringing rather than calling other people? Yeah. Those of you that aren't raising your hands, you're such liars right now. Or you're texting or something like that. Cool. So let me ask you a question real quick on the mindset. Okay, who's taking time? Raise your hand if you're, now I have a master's in education, so I'm going to ask you to raise your hand sometimes, get that teacher thing going, okay? Raise your hand if you're taking time out of your business to be here today. Okay, cool, you're taking time out of your business to be here today. All right, so already you are in the top tier of agents and entrepreneurs, because for sure there are other agents struggling out there. Y'all are the ones that decided, I am taking action, I'm going to invest my time to learn how to make more money. So already by being here, you've separated yourself. Now I'm going to challenge your mind, yes? I'm going to challenge your mind. You're going to learn a lot of good content today. You know that, right? You're going to learn proven content from people that have accomplished big things. I'm going to teach you how to build hundreds of thousands of dollars of income through referrals. Grant is going to teach you how to proven methods to get an incredible amount of leads and turn clients online. Sean, who has sold literally over $1 billion worth of real estate, is going to teach you lead conversion that I've learned from him as he's my coach. Now, you're going to apply these things and you're going to make more money, right? So if you learn something and you go make more money from it, was that a good investment of your time? Did your business improve? Yes. So I challenge you that you are not taking time out of your business to be here. No. You are investing in your business right now. You're investing in your business right now because when you go make more money from what you learned, first of all, how much did you pay to be here? Okay, what is your ROI if you go get a $20,000 commission next week because of something you learned? Infinite, right? So you are investing in your business right now. You're not taking time out of your business. Self-education, right? Self-development is the number one thing I think that agents miss. You got to get in the room with big people that have accomplished big things so you can learn how to do what they do. So I applaud you for being here today. So real quick, give your neighbor a fist pump, a high five, and say, hey, congratulations for being here. Let's make some money. Let's make some money, man. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about, right? Okay. So why am I qualified to teach you how to get referrals? I'll show you. So I am a world record holding business networker, and actually all of our sponsors know that, and I'm going to show you how. Okay, I moved to Texas 3 years ago. I didn't have a real estate license and I didn't know anybody, but I knew that I really liked to network. And so I got into business networking. Now, shortly after I moved here, anyone know the words BNI, the letters BNI? Okay, they're one of the top, it's the top business referral-based organization in the world. So I started a chapter here. Not only did I start a chapter, I broke the world record for the fastest launch. Over 35 years, over 70 countries, over 10,000 chapters, I started the fastest chapter ever in one day, okay? So, all the sponsors, they're a little bit famous, no big deal. You might want to get their autograph by the end of the day, okay? And I have built an exclusively referral-based business for myself in a very short amount of time. Now, I am a team leader. I pay for leads on my team, and those leads go to my team members. But me, I'm referrals all the way. And I focus on one-to-one building relationships. And let me show you some metrics so you can know for a fact you're learning from someone who's accomplished it. Now, this is an actual screenshot because in our app, we track how much business we give and receive. Now, one thing I want you to keep in mind is this is just income from one referral source. I have many referral sources. My community groups, my past clients, my other networking groups that I'm a part of. This is just one spot. Now, in the past 12 months, because this is a 12-month snapshot, just within this networking group, not even my other groups, I've had 148 one-to-ones. That's when you get together with someone one-to-one, coffee, beer, food, whatever. You get to know each other. Okay? So 148 times, just in this group, I've gotten together with people in the past 12 months. Okay? That's, 3 a week, roughly? I've given 303 referrals to this group. And you're going to learn in this session why giving referrals is going to make you more money. I've received 17 referrals. It's not easy to refer a realtor, but we want quality over quantity, yeah? Average commission around here statistically is $18,000. Okay, so if you get 10 of those, if I get 17 of those from one spot, is that good? Yeah. Okay. I've given, TYFCB stands for Thank You for Closed Business. I have put $245,000 in other people's pockets, including some of the business owners in this room. So this is profit. This isn't sales volume. This is profit. I have helped my business owners that I refer to make over $245,000 worth of income in the past 12 months. As a result, are they motivated to refer me? Yep. Okay. So just from this one lead bucket, I've closed over $146,000 in the past 12 months. That is only from this one part. That's not my gym, right? That's not any of my other networking groups or anywhere else I get referrals or any of my past clients, which I get a lot of referrals from. So yeah, I'm going to teach you how to do that too. This is literally the same blueprint, so make sure you pay attention and apply what you learn. Now, referrals are really highly desirable for an agent. They're so desirable that we're willing to give up a quarter of our commission for one. Because no one wants to chase clients, right? If I get, Rob, I live out of state, but my mom lives there and she wants you to list her house. Can I have 25% of your commission? Hell yeah, you can. Let's get that listing going, right? Of course. Now, the thing is, most agents don't understand the difference between a referral and a lead. And we're going to learn about that. Most agents don't even ask for referrals. Most agents don't ask for what they want. You know who how to taught me for really ask for what I want? Sean. My income went up dramatically as soon as that happened, okay? And the thing is, it doesn't take decades. It doesn't have to take decades to build a referral-based business. So many people think like, oh, you can only do that if you've been in the industry 15, 18, 20 years. It took me 2 years to build a referral-based business in a new state as a newly licensed agent. I just had my 3-year anniversary. Things are crushing it right now, all from referrals. So it doesn't matter how long you've been in the business. Doesn't matter if you're new in town. I don't want to hear any excuses. You can do it. If I can do it, y'all can definitely do it. So we're going to learn today, first, how to take massive action to get referrals. We're going to learn how to prospect for referrals because, yes, you do need to prospect for referrals. We're going to learn how to maximize previous clients who are definitely your best referral source. You're going to learn how to gain trust via the referring party so you can turn a lead into a referral. You're going to learn how to give more referrals to get more referrals and how to make money doing it. And I'm even going to show you common mistakes and how to avoid them. I'm giving you the fastest track to success to create that blueprint for a referral-based business. Write down your questions so we can get to them at the end. Now, what is a referral? What is a referral? A referral is a recommendation and endorsement for you and the services you provide from someone who knows you to someone who doesn't. That's a referral. They're desirable because the person being referred already has trust and a willingness to work with you as a result of their relationship with the referring party, right? If you need a plumber, you can go to Google, but if your next door neighbor says, oh my God, we just had this huge plumbing thing, this guy came over, he was absolutely saved my life, you gotta use him, you're probably gonna call that plumber. You trust your neighbor, so you trust the plumber. Same thing with us. So when someone really highly recommends you, that's a very valuable thing because we don't have to compete with the other 20,000 agents in the area. When are you going to get a referral? Well, simply people work with those that they know, like, and trust. So your goal is to get as many people to know, like, and trust you as possible, right? That's the goal. So you want to be right smack dab in the middle of that thing. People know you, they like you, they trust you. That's you right in the middle. That's where you want to be with as many people as you can. So now we're going to talk about taking massive action to do whatever it takes to actually get those referrals. Raise your hand if you know who this guy is. Every person in the room who should know who this guy is. His name is Grant Cardone. He's the godfather, the granddaddy of massive action. You can't think massive action without thinking Grant Cardone. Now, this phrase is one of my favorite quotes of all time. There's no goal too big, just an underestimation of how much action is required to attain that goal. Who can relate to that? Have you ever accomplished something that you were like, wow, that was a lot harder than I thought it would be, but it was so worth it? Yeah, like being an agent, right? Like being an agent, absolutely. So we're going to talk about massive action. Now, what I want you to do as you take some notes is really think, ask yourself, is my business where I want it to be? If you're here, probably not, and that's okay because you know that and you're improving by being here. But if the answer is no, you need to work harder, you need to work faster, and probably both. You need to do more things faster. I have several businesses that have all achieved low to mid six figures that are completely unrelated to each other by following the same framework. And when people ask me what is a key factor in my success, I think they expect some magic fairy dust, and really a key answer is I work harder and faster than most people do. I just do more things in less time than most people are willing to do. That's it. You need to eliminate distractions and focus. Have you ever had a day as an agent where you feel super busy but completely unproductive? You have a 15-hour day and you realize, I was just putting out fires all day, man. I don't think I moved the needle any closer to new production, new money. Actual focused 8 to 9 hours a day work, time blocking, scheduling, okay? Make sure you have a good environment to work in. Gang, if you're here and your environment is the kitchen table, trust me, you're leaving a ton of money on the table. You gotta have an office. Sean told me one time about a client of his who goes into her master closet. Okay, do whatever you gotta do, man. But make yourself a place where you can focus on the work. You are responsible for supporting yourself, for your family. They're counting on you to do it at a high level. You knew this wouldn't be easy. Right? So just embrace it and keep moving. For sure, more action is going to equal more results. You're not where you want. You need to take more action. Less action, stagnation, excuses, absolutely, scientifically can only lead to stagnation, to a lack of success, and ultimately to failure. Now, I believe failure is only failure if you quit. Failure is only failure if it's permanent. Otherwise, we're just learning. We're learning. When I was hosting open houses, getting no after no after no, I was just sharpening my sword until I started getting those yeses. Then I got really good at getting the yeses. Then I engaged in Sean's coaching. Then I got really, really good at getting the yeses. Right? So you're getting better, but you got to take more action. Okay? Have more conversations, host more open houses, call more numbers, have more one-to-ones, but take more action. And stop getting stuck in analysis paralysis, wondering what to do. Just do something. Just pick something and do it, man. Just go. Just go. Just go. Just start taking action. Okay? Use the systems that you have provided to you. It's really easy to do. It's really easy not to do. Make the decision to do it. Okay? Massive action. Think what will or won't happen because everything you do or don't do will have a reaction. right? Some type of reaction. You are the only one responsible for your actions and your outcomes. I have very few hot buttons. I'm generally a pretty happy dude. Victim mentality. Oh, flip this table over, victim mentality. No one's responsible for your success except you, okay? Every moment you're not working as hard as possible, you are only robbing yourself and your family. We had team training this morning. I had a few of my team members right over here. And one of them was talking about, every Friday, one of the team members does a little presentation. She was talking about a seminar she went to recently where they were talking about their accountability partners. And my team, we all have accountability partners. And one of them said, with my accountability partner, if we don't hit our metrics, like if I don't hit my cold calling numbers for the week, I have to give him $1,000. Yeah, right? And I was like, yes! And all the other team members were like, what? Right? Here's why I was so excited about that. It's an immediate consequence to something that's going to happen anyway, okay? If you don't hit your cold calling numbers, if you don't hit your numbers this week, you're giving up that $1,000. It's just happening later, right? I'm a professional bodybuilder, okay? So I am very into the health and nutrition. Now, one of the reasons people fall off their diet is like, if I were to eat a piece of cake and gain 10 pounds instantly, I probably wouldn't eat that cake. But because it happens slowly and almost imperceptibly, it's not as big of a deal. If the instant you put a cigarette to your mouth, you get lung cancer, you're not gonna smoke. But it doesn't happen until later, so you have that delay, and that makes you think, but trust me, you're still giving up that money. I like that mode because it puts that consequence right in your face. Think about that. Every instant you're not working as hard as possible, you are only robbing yourself of your own future success. And it's not always easy. I spend at least half the day not wanting to do what I'm doing, but I'm passionate about the results that I get. I'm passionate about the financial freedom I've achieved. I'm passionate that I get to support my family and have my wife be a stay-at-home mom as long as she wants to, right? All those things I'm passionate about, so I keep doing it. So why are you passionate about it? Why are you doing this? Because your why is what is going to get you through the hard times. From new agent to top producer, we all have problems. We all have issues that we deal with. And your why, when the real estate giant punches you in the gut, is what is going to keep you getting up the next day. Your why has to be strong enough. And don't be ashamed about your why. Is your why to support your family? Great. Is your why to be rich and make a lot of money? Awesome. Own it and run with it. Think what's going to happen if you take action and what won't happen. Like literally on your notepad, you could write a little line down the middle. What will happen if I prospect right now? What won't happen if I prospect right now? Both of those things are real. And when you write down your goals, according to one of my agents, Austin Helms, right here, you're going to be 42% more likely to achieve them. So write it down. Make that an exercise every day. If you're not feeling it, oh gosh, let's raise your hand if you ever have a time where you don't feel like prospecting. It's cool. We're all friends here. It's okay. My name is Rob, and I don't like prospecting all the time. That's okay, right? And when I do that, I write it down, and then I'm motivated, okay? This is a marathon. Make no mistake about it. I coined a term marathon sprint. By definition, sprinting is fast and short. Being an agent is like a marathon sprint. You're always running as fast as you can until you get to that point of sustainability, which I'm going to teach you how to do. You have to move fast. That's why I call my course Earth to Orbit. You actually have to move 17,800 miles an hour to get into orbit. So if I were to tell you, is 15,000 miles an hour fast? You'd probably say, yeah, Rob, that's really fast. Oh, wow. You'll still fall down to the earth and crash and explode. Still, at 15,000 miles an hour, you'll get close. Oh, but whew, you're going to crash, okay? So that massive action really fast is what's going to get you into orbit. You will never meet an agent that said, oh, man, I just took my time launching my business. Took my time, 1 to 2 deals a year. I just did that for 9 years. And then in year 10, I closed 100 deals, right? No, it doesn't happen that way. You move fast or you die. Once you get into orbit, you got that full pipeline. You got your consistent closings. You don't have any stress. But if you're in gravity right now, if you have that inconsistent pipeline, if you have 3 closings this month and nothing going on the next 2 months, you need to get into orbit. So massive action, common mistakes. Most agents simply just don't do the work. They simply don't do enough. I'm working hard. You're not working hard enough. You got to break into another level. It's relentless, long-term consistency. People will try something for a short amount of time and be like, man, Rob, door knocking doesn't work. Cold calling doesn't work. Yeah, how many dials did you do last week? I don't know, 50. How many weeks did you do it? One. Ask Ricky Carruth if cold calling doesn't work, right? If you really stick to it, you will achieve the success, but you got to give it enough time. Now, most agents are going to give into one of the 4 fears prior to breaking into this. Now, this is a new clip from my book that I'm writing right now called Impossible to Fail. Okay, no one's ever heard this yet. This is my first time talking about it. You ready? Let's dig in. Failure comes from fear. It always comes from fear. Fear of failure, number 1. I have broken down the fear of failure into 4 different categories. Okay? And I feel strongly that any problem you have, any fear that you might have, any hesitation you might have, if you keep peeling back the layers, why, it's going to come down to one of these 4 things. I guarantee it. First, we have the fear of imperfection. You should be writing these down. Fear of imperfection. Now, I'm going to tell you what the fear is, and then I'm going to actually give you some good news on how to avoid it. Because when you know what the fears are, you can change it. Fear of imperfection. Anyone ever have fear of imperfection? Everyone, obviously, right? Trying to do something, I should do this, but I'm afraid of messing up. I'm afraid of doing it wrong. Well, the good news is you don't need to worry about fear of imperfection because it's literally impossible to be perfect. You can't be perfect at anything until you get really good at it, right? 10,000 hours technically to become a master. So the good news is that if you're trying something new, don't worry about being perfect because you can't be. I've just taken that weight off of your shoulders. And anyone ever say or hear someone say, I'm a perfectionist, so I'm not going to do it? What that really means is you're a procrastinator. Y'all know I'm right, right? Just do it because that's the fastest path to perfection. I'm a professional musician. I didn't just pick up the trumpet and sound good, right? It took a really long time to get perfect at that. Fear of imperfection. So the good news is you don't have to worry about it. Just go, okay? Fear of the unknown. Anyone ever have that? I've got to start cold calling, but I'm afraid to. Maybe it's 2. Maybe it's fear of imperfection and fear of the unknown combined. The good news is that fear of the unknown is a survival mechanism built into your evolution and DNA. Okay? Human race would not have survived if we didn't fear the unknown. What's that movement in the bushes? I don't know. Let's go check it out. Oh, it's a lion. I'm dead, right? It's good to fear the unknown. It's part of our evolutionary process. But I have more good news for you. It is also part of the human spirit that, in spite of fearing the unknown, we explore the unknown and conquer it anyway. That is part of the human spirit. So you have it in you to naturally fear the unknown, but you also have it in you as a human being to conquer that fear. Fear of other people's opinion of you. Anyone have that? Right? Good news here, that's also a survival mechanism. Because back when we were hunter-gatherers, if your tribe didn't like you, you would probably die. The pack survives, right? You're in the pack, cool. They don't like you, they kill you, or they leave you behind. And you can't survive. So that is also a survival mechanism. Yet, realistically, any Ed Milet fans in the house? He calls these people extras. Most of the time, you worry about the extras in your life. You know, taxi cab driver 1, coffee drinker on the street 2. These people that you don't even know their names, you don't know them, they're not going to think about you 5 minutes from now. You're worried about their opinion. You don't even know these people. What do you care? Right? You got to get over that. You can't please everybody. I guarantee it. You can't do it. So just work on the best thing that you know how to do and just keep moving forward. Lastly, and this is the biggest one, I think, fear of sacrifice. Okay? Sean has a great quote. Are you a dream believer or a dream buyer? Meaning, your dreams have a price. And the way I perceive it is the further you are from your dream, the higher the price. So if you came to me and said, Rob, I want to close 3 more deals this year. Cool, that's not a very high price tag. That's quite easy to do. If you said, Rob, I closed 3 deals this year and I want to close 30 next year, cool, we can do that. That's a pretty high price tag, though. It's pretty different from what you did now. Are you ready to do that? Are you prepared to pay that price? Sacrifice, time, short-term sacrifice now for long-term gains later, right? It's free to want. Anybody can want. It is not free to have. You want to have, you got to pay the price. The good news is, as long as you're willing to make the sacrifice now and just don't stop, you will get what you want. So write these 4 fears down, and when you have a hesitation in your business, ask yourself, which one of these 4 is responsible for this? Because when you know it, you can conquer it. All right. Now we're going to talk into the next session, prospecting for referrals. Because yes, you have to prospect for referrals. Here's why. Your phone won't ring by itself yet, but it will soon. Now, getting referrals is a delayed gratification game. It's a marathon long game, delayed gratification, right? Work hard now, improve later. Okay, as a bodybuilder, I know all about delayed gratification. It takes a year to get ready for a bodybuilding show. I would go to weddings with a cooler of chicken and broccoli. I know about delayed gratification, okay? You can do it. But it's a long game. It's exponential growth, okay? If you are a new agent or new in town, or you just don't have enough business, keep in mind most of your referrals are going to come from people you don't know yet. You have to get new business in order to build a referral-based business. And that's where most people fail in that mindset. Your phone won't ring by itself right away, but when you get enough new business and that turns into repeat business and referral business, that's when you build your referral base. So a lot of those referrals are going to come from people you don't know yet. So you do have to keep prospecting for new business until you get enough of it, combined with the methods I'm going to teach you on nurturing to grow your referral base. Okay? Your number one job, agent, prospect, 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 so that can lead to more referrals. Now, over time, you can build your business to get a significant portion or all of your portion from referrals, just like I have, in a very short amount of time. Prospecting for new business is essential now to get that referral-based business later. So who can you ask for referrals? Everybody, anybody. Remember that the amount of referrals you get is going to be directly related to the amount of meaningful relationships that you have. That's why you can see my one-to-ones are so important. I train my team members in the same thing. I was on a coaching call with one of my team members this morning, and I said, how many one-to-ones did you do this week? She was exhausted. She said 11. I was like, that's what I'm talking about. You're going to make some money. You're going to make some money from that. Absolutely. Meaningful relationships. Don't assume just by someone knowing you're an agent, you're going to get their business. Because what do they need to do? They need to know, like, and trust you. It takes a meaningful relationship to do that. So you schedule one-on-ones with people. So now I'm getting into the action items. Now we prepped with the mindset. Now I'm getting into the do this to make money section. Have one-to-ones. At least one person a week. If you really want to do it right, it should be 3 to 5. If you're focused on building a referral-based business, not just a little bit of referrals every now and then, it should be 3 to 5 a week. Do lunch every day. There you go. Or just have 1 or 2 days where it's just like, this is my one-to-one day. I'm going to knock out 3 one-to-ones in a day. The more, the better. Because getting a referral, again, is a result of developing a meaningful relationship. They have to know, like, and trust you. And you're going to have to do more than one, by the way. Don't just be like, okay, I did a one-to-one with this person, never going to do that again. Right? Every few months, you should just be keeping that relationship going. Okay? Develop relationships in non-real estate related communities. So for example, talked about the fact that I'm a gym dude, right? I pick things up and I put them down, okay? That's what I like to do. So a lot of my referrals come from the gym, right? One agent on my team, a lot of her referrals come from the church. That's her community, right? Mom's groups, dad's groups, bike riding groups, parent groups, whatever. Same thing, if your kid's on a football team, get to know the coach. He knows everybody. Get to know the other parents. Have one-on-ones with them. Okay? Develop meaningful relationships in non-real estate related communities. That's a whole segment in my sales course. Community groups, how to maximize referrals in community groups. We talk about that. Your brokerage. You can be getting referrals from your brokerage. We're going to talk about that, right? I'm going to show you how you can get a referral every time you have a listing. Okay, so your brokerage, you got agents in other states. Give and receive referrals. You got to make sure everyone knows what you do. No one's going to prospect for you, and it's not being pushy asking for referrals. If you're not going to toot your own horn, who's going to toot it for you? No one's going to play my trumpet for me, right? Okay? There's nothing wrong with, at the end of the conversation, saying, hey, by the way, I'm in real estate. Do you happen to know anyone that's looking to buy a home or sell a house or invest in real estate and call today? I asked that to a person behind the counter at a coffee shop and got 2 deals out of it. You can do it, but you got to ask that question all the time. And every answer to every question you don't ask is no. So if you don't ask the question, you're robbing yourself of the potential to even get a yes. Just ask. It takes like 3 seconds. Ask the question. Make sure everyone knows what you do. It's not being pushy. Always have business cards in your pocket. Always have business cards in your pocket. I'm walking the dog. I got business cards in my pocket. Have I ever got a deal from walking a dog and having a business card in my pocket? Yep. Yep, I did. Yep, I did, because I had a neighbor, I was walking, and we were buying his house, and he had a neighbor who was like, he was just walking with her. And even that day, I had my gym shorts on. I was like, oh, grab a business card, don't forget. 5 minutes later, I'm walking the corner. Rob, do you have a business card to give Lauren? Yes, I do. Always have business cards. It's so easy to do, okay? Now, some included resources, because I want to give you some tools to make some money, is the referral contest script. This is the very first thing agents on my team do to make money. Day one on my team, I have 2 agents here that I just interviewed yesterday. They're starting on my team on Monday. Monday afternoon, this is the script they're going to be using to go make money. I'm going to give this to you as a download for free, and I'm going to show you how to access it at the end of my session. So that if you just go to the QR code, you enter your name and email, you will get a free copy of that script delivered right to your inbox. You can literally use it today to start getting leads and referrals, okay? Now, you're going to use that referral contest script. Okay, you're going to use it once a quarter on your whole SOI. You go into your database, you go into your CRM, you use that script once a quarter. New agents, right? Top producers, new to town, old to town, doesn't matter. The script works for everybody, okay? Now, here's a good tip. Always strive to get the contact's information. So if you say, hey, do you happen to know anyone looking to have some real estate needs? And they say, yeah, I'll have them call you. Don't settle for that, because are they going to call? Probably not. Oh, you know what? I don't mind. Why don't you go ahead and go on speaker? Give me their name and phone number right now. I'll write it down. Oh, man, no, go ahead. I don't mind. It's okay, right? Get that information. Take the initiative to get the information. And I'm going to show you here how to make sure that remains a referral and not a lead. Always ask, hey, who do you currently refer your friends, family, and business associates to for real estate needs? I learned that line at a seminar earlier this year. I was in the airport waiting to go home, back here. And I had a little backpack on, and there's a little patch that says Daddy on it. My best friend got it for me before my daughter was born. And there was a dude behind me. He says, man, I really love your Daddy backpack. Well, that turned into a 20-minute conversation. And at the end, as we were boarding, I said, hey, you live in Austin, right? Who do you currently refer your friends, family, and business associates to for real estate needs? He said, well, you know, I actually just started investing in real estate, and I don't have an agent here yet. Well, we met for coffee the next week, and now I'm going to be listing some of his properties when he's done flipping them. Ask that question he would do in the airport. The day I learned it, okay? Would I have gotten those new upcoming listings if I didn't ask him that one single question? Nope. So you got to ask. Ask for what you want. Ask, hey, do you know anyone who's looking to buy a home, sell a house, or invest? You should have that memorized. If I come to your house and wake you up at 3 in the morning, you should be able to say that off the tip of your tongue. Hey, do you happen to know anyone who's looking to buy a home, sell a house, or invest in real estate and call today? Easy. Just ask that question literally to every person you see. How many people do you see during the day? Dozens? Imagine if you asked that question 500 times a month. Is that going to lead to at least a few more deals? Yep. Okay. Now, the thing is, you actually have to do the thing, and you have to do it today. You have to do it now. Speed of implementation is the key. You have an idea, you take an action, you get a result, you do it again. But learning this and not utilizing it is like having a book and not reading it. What's the point? If I teach you this today and you don't utilize it, you wasted time. If you implement what I'm teaching you, what Sean teaches you, what Grant teaches you, you will make money and you will get the results you want. You got to move fast. You want lots of referrals, consistent. Prospecting for referrals, common mistakes. Well, most agents just don't ask the most important question every day, which is, do you know anyone looking to buy a home, sell a house, or invest in real estate and call today? Okay. Fear of sounding pushy. Oh, I don't want to be pushy. Well, if you're afraid to promote yourself, I got news for you. You're in sales. You're in sales. You're in the wrong business, okay? You got to get used to that real fast. You're just not pushy to just let people know what you do. You're not selling something. You're trying to help people. You're trying to advise them on the biggest financial transaction of their life. You're trying to help them. When you cold call, you're not selling anything. You're offering assistance in a monumental purchase. Offering your help is not being pushy. When agents ask, they're not direct enough. So for example, here's a way that you might think you're asking. You say, gosh, I'd love to work with you if you ever need some help. That's not asking a question. That's making a statement. Saying, and they're going to say, okay, and they'll forget. But if you ask, it makes them think if you ask a question. Do you know anyone who? Then they'll say yes or no. They're actually likely to think. Okay, and then you can ask a follow-up question. That's cool. Do you know anyone who might know someone else that needs to buy a home, sell a house, invest in real estate? You know when that worked for me? My next door neighbor who manages HR at a company. When I say, hey, you guys know anyone looking to have some real estate needs? Nope. Do you know anyone who might? Actually, we just hired someone who's moving here from out of state. Let me see if she might. Okay, here we go. Right? So just ask. You just got to ask. Thinking you need to have a relationship in order to ask the question. Nope, you can ask a total stranger. You can ask a total stranger. I guarantee you, every barista at every coffee shop in Austin has one of my business cards. I like coffee. I guarantee they all do. And you know what? Sometimes I get deals out of it. I got a listing and a purchase off of asking that question to a guy in a coffee shop. In my sales course, you see the case study that actually resulted in. You actually see the properties and the numbers and all that good stuff. Okay? Not using the script. Gang, I'm going to send you the script for free. Just literally read it word for word. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Just use the script. Okay? Now we're getting into the meat and potatoes as we near the end of this one. Maximizing previous clients. Now I'm going to give you the ultimate formula for maximizing previous clients. Years in the real estate laboratory perfecting this formula. You ready? Here we go. It's 3 parts. It's 1 part, amazing experience. You provide your clients with an amazing experience. You provide them with fantastic results. And then you stay on top of mind. You put those 3 things together, boom, you get referrals. Amazing experience, fantastic results, staying top of mind, there's your referrals coming in. Now, what does that actually look like? Well, to provide an amazing experience, all those bullet points here. You have excellent communication, just like all of our sponsors do, right? You listen to them. You don't just hear, you listen. You understand their needs. You take off-ramps. In my course, I teach you what off-ramps are, how to build rapport. You give them your very best. You offer great referrals for affiliated business, like our sponsors in this room. You crush it with the experience. You don't just want to provide good results. It's the experience, right? You can get a good meal at a lot of places, but I bet your favorite restaurants, you enjoy the experience just as much as you enjoy the food, right? Absolutely. You give them fantastic results. If you're the listing agent, what does that mean? Obviously, it means you sell the house for top dollar, you do a great job marketing it, you crush the negotiations, you get them the money they need. If you're a buyer agent, you do a great job showing houses, you're available, you do a good job negotiating, you get them into the home that they love, and your referrals you give do a good job. Now, I'm going to give you tips for staying top of mind, and this is where I think most agents drop the ball. Previous clients are your best referral source, gang. But when you don't maximize them, you're literally throwing referrals out the window. Every client you get should be statistically worth 5.7 referrals. If you're not getting 5.7 referrals per client, you are dropping the ball. So, here's some free methods. Now, at the beginning of your career, money's tight. I don't think you should be paying for this, but there are free methods. They're a little more time intensive. They're not quite scalable, but they're free. So always ask for referrals at the closing table. That's the best time to ask. They're excited. They're not moving yet, right? You don't want to ask a question while they're in the middle of moving. Ask them at the closing table. What I like to do is after they're done signing and the escrow officer goes to make copies and give the binder and you have that like 3 to 5 minute window, that's when you ask for referrals. Send them a handwritten thank you card. It doesn't have to be your handwriting, by the way. My wife writes all my thank you cards because they wouldn't read it. They couldn't be able to read it if I wrote it. All right. House anniversary cards for your buyers. Happy house anniversary. Yearly CMA for your buyers. I always do that. Hey, I'm going to call you every year just to come over, give you analysis. I think everyone should know what the value of their biggest asset is. Right? You got your dentist, you got your accountant, you got your CPA. I'm your realtor for life. I am your realtor forever. Not just for one transaction. And that's how you do it. You got to stay on top of mind. Okay? Interact on social media. Become friends with them on social media. You see the kid just had a baseball game. Way to go! Awesome. I do that all the time. And I mean it. Holiday, birthday, house anniversary cards to the CRM. Easy to do. Add them to your email newsletters. Everybody should be sending out an email newsletter. Now, here's some paid methods, which take 0 time, easy to scale. American Lifestyle magazines. That's a good one. Beautiful coffee table quality literature, branded in your image. You're all over the magazine. It's really, really good stuff. Okay? Few bucks a copy. Client Giant. Okay, if you want a promo code, let me know. I'll give you my promo code. Okay, they send custom gifts once a quarter. $99 a year per client. They get 4 custom gifts a year. So it's pretty cool. This just happened a couple weeks ago. I always have once a quarter, once every 3 months. My phone is always blowing up with messages and calls. Rob, thanks for the gift. I love it. I'm like, you're so welcome. And I have to log into Client Giant and be like, what did I send them? I don't know. Right? Because they take care of it. It's custom engraved. It has my signature on it. They love it. Keeps them top of mind. Okay? AM cards. AM cards, send out cards, all that kind of stuff. It's basically all the house, the birthday, the anniversary cards, all that good stuff. You just don't have to send it. You plug in the dates and they send it. You can also hand write your signature and they'll scan it and have a robot sign it just like your signature. So now you get those beautiful handwritten cards without literally ever having to take 1 second to send it out. Okay? Someone else handling your email newsletters. My team members send out an email newsletter every month, but I pay someone else to do it because I want my team members focusing on income-producing activities only, right? So they have someone else do it. Direct mail to your SOI, previous clients. Now, ideally, you should be combining paid and free methods. I still call every one of my past clients once a quarter, personally. Okay? Everything else, and I do the yearly CMAs. Everything else is automated. There's no, you can't completely take yourself out of it. You want to maintain a relationship, you do need FaceTime. But I do the CMAs, I do the phone calls, everything else is automated. Most people just don't do it. They don't ask for referrals at the closing table, and they're not being intentional about staying top of mind. The dust will settle. You may not hear from that person for 2 or 3 years. Don't give up. It's a long-term thing. It's a long-term thing. They might not send you a referral for 5 years. Okay, so what does it cost for it? So let's say over the course of 5 years, I spend $700 to stay top of mind, and I get a referral for 20 or 30 grand. Pretty sweet, right? I think right now I spend maybe 12 grand a year on Client Giant, you know? I mean, one referral covers it. I get a ton of referrals through Client Giant from that. I know because a lot of times after they say, hey, thanks for the gift. Do you have a minute for a phone call next week? Yes. Yes, I do. Okay. We're wrapping up. Gain trust via the referring party. This is a quick one, but it's really important. Now, all of my sponsors know this. What's the difference, does anyone know, between a lead and a referral? I'll give you the answer. A lead involves 2 people, and a referral involves 3 people. You want the referral. The lead, hey, one of my friends needs to sell their house. You should call them. That's a lead, okay? It involves 2 people. You reach out to the lead, you hope it works out. There's minimal trust, minimal accountability. There's significantly lower conversion rates than referrals, and the lead doesn't really know you prior to connecting. That's a lead. What you want is a referral. A referral involves 3 people, okay? The referring party actually connects you. As an example, with Austin Mortgage Lending, because they're my go-to. Anytime a client needs to be pre-qualified, I don't say, here's their number, call them. I send a 3-way text, because that's the system. I tell them I'm going to send you a text, connect you with them. Austin Mortgage Lending, meet John. John is a first-time buyer. He's blah, 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 blah. John, meet Austin Mortgage Lending. They're blah, blah, blah. Please connect directly. Let me know anything I can do to help. Now I've connected them. That's a referral. Jackson and his team take over. They crush it. If I just said, hey, Austin Mortgage Lending is going to reach out, or you should reach out to them. Oh, okay, right? It's a referral. So you want that 3 people. You want that mutual connection. You want the referring party to connect you. That is when the magic happens. Trust is established more easily. Significantly higher conversion rates than leads. If the referring party tries to give you a lead, just ask them to turn it into a referral. Hey, one of my relatives is moving here from out of state. I gave them your card. Awesome, thank you so much. Hey, could you do me a favor? Just do a quick 3-way text. Connect us, and then I'll call them directly. That would be super helpful. Just take a minute. Oh, sure, okay. Now it's a referral. Now they've established the connection, and now you can take the ball and run with it. That is going to get you way higher conversion rates than just doing a lead. So remember, if you take away one thing, lead is 2 people, referral is 3 people, and that's what you want. Common mistakes, just missing the opportunity to turn a lead into a referral. Don't let that happen. Don't be afraid to ask, and don't be afraid to ask more than once to turn that lead into a referral, okay? Last module here before we wrap up. Giving more referrals. Give value so people are compelled to refer you. Now, when I joined my first business networking group, I was the #1 referrer in the group for 6 months before I ever got a referral. But then they really started pouring in, right? Give business and you will receive business. Ask your friends, family, prospects, and clients, hey, is there anyone I can connect you with for any aspect of your life, real estate or otherwise? So even my clients, one of the reasons I get so many referrals is I stay on top of mine because they know that even 2 years after we close the home and they say, oh my gosh, Rob, we got carpenter ants. No problem, Danny's on it. I got the guy, I got the gal for everything you need, real estate related or not. Don't go to Google and look at reviews. Just call me. I'll give you my plumber. I'll give you my pressure washer, right? I'll give you my home inspector. I got everything for you, okay? So ask them, because that's a good way you're going to stay on. Number one, you stay top of mind. Number two, you give business to other people, and through the nature of reciprocation, they now want to give business to you. So you're just winning all around, right? Connect them via a three-way text. So if you're the referring party, it's your responsibility not to give someone a lead. Make it a referral. Anytime I'm giving a referral, I connect them via text, phone call, however they prefer. People always want to help and return the favor. It's just the human nature of reciprocity. If you help them, they're going to want to help you grow your business. Join business networking groups like I have to maximize your relationships so that when you give a referral, you can give it from a personal experience. Okay? Give referrals to other business owners as much as you can. How about giving referrals to other agents? We're in the last couple slides here. Every time you have a listing meeting, you should be asking your sellers, hey, where are you going to move when I'm done selling this house for you? Where are you going to move? I had this happening right now. I've had it happen before. Where are you moving? This is one that happened a few months ago. Well, Rob, we're going to move to Georgia because we want to be closer to our kids. They're in college, they're in Georgia. That's amazing. Do you have an agent in Georgia? I don't have an agent in Georgia. Oh, okay. So you're not working with an agent there? Nope. Awesome. Well, I'll tell you what. I have some connections to get you in touch with some of the best agents in the Atlanta area. May I connect you? Because I want to make sure you get an agent as good as I am. I want to make sure that this whole thing is super seamless for you. May I connect you with some of the best agents in town? You interview them, see who you'd like to go with. By the way, you don't have to go with any of them. I just want to help you. Sure, Rob, I'll do that. Great. Okay, so then I hop on my brokerage's back-end social media. This is literally what happened. In 20 minutes, I had 3 agents in Atlanta that were ready to go. Within another half hour, they had already interviewed the agents, picked the one they wanted, and we had a signed rep agreement, or signed referral agreement. So that was about a $2,400 referral fee that took me 20 minutes. That's it. They crushed it. They did a great job. They live in a beautiful new build now. I did a great job with their listing. So that's what, over like $8,000 an hour or something like that, right? That's pretty good, okay? Give referrals. Always just ask your sellers, where are you moving? That's a perfect opportunity for a referral. Go on social media and look for incoming referrals. I do that all the time in my company. I get a lot of referrals just from saying, hey, I need an agent in Austin. I got a client moving there. On it, okay? Common mistakes, not asking your sellers where they're moving. That's so easy to do. Where are you going to move when I'm done selling this house for you? Obviously, if they're staying in the area, you're going to help them buy that home too. They're out of state, or out of town, you get them with another agent. Here's another one. Let people know everywhere you can help them. I just made a $1,600 referral fee helping a friend move from Colorado to Indiana. I'm not in either of those states, right? We were just on the phone. He said, hey, I got a new gig. I'm like, so congratulations, that's amazing. So they're renting, but they want to buy a house. Do you have an agent in Indiana? No. Man, let me help you. Let me turn you on to like one of the best agents in Indiana. Same thing. 15 minutes later, I connected them with an agent. They formed a rep agreement. I got a referral fee. They did a beautiful job. I helped my best friend get into his dream home. I made $1,400 in like 15 minutes. Okay? You don't have to be dealing with someone local to get a referral fee. You can do it anywhere, especially if you have like a nationwide company, right, where it's really easy to do that. Okay? So we learned a lot of good stuff today, gang. We learned how to take massive action. We learned how to prospect for referrals. We learned how to maximize the previous party, how to gain trust, turn leads into referrals, and how to give and make money while doing it. Now, raise your hand if you got some good content out of this session. Yes? Good. Okay, perfect. I'm so glad to hear that. Now, this is one of over 15 modules in my course. And we have promotional pricing going on through the end of the month. So if you opt in, you'll get the info that you need to check it out. You have lifetime access to the course. You can watch these videos over and over and over again. Thousands of slides, hundreds of videos, over 60 scripts and objection handlers, all there for you to grow your business. Now, I encourage you to scan this QR code right now if you want that referral contest script. You can just literally get your phone out, point the camera right at it. Okay? You're going to get the referral contest script for free just by entering your email so I know where to send it to you. Now, next month, I'm super excited. It's the first one we're doing. Online, 4-week series, building a 6-figure referral-based business. And if you think you got good info here, this is just the tip of the iceberg, because we're going to cover a lot. It's 4 sessions, okay, starting in October 26. Now, it's $97 to attend that 4-week boot camp. Not $97 a session, $97 for the whole thing. For those of you who choose to take action by the end of this month, specifically just for the Texas tour, and this specific QR code, we have promotional pricing for you until the end of the month. $47 for an entire 4-week series on how to build a referral-based business. So you can scan the QR code. You can also text 6-figure to that number right there. If you're like, oh, I don't want to go online right now, let me just get out my phone, text 6-figure to that number, and then just follow the prompts. You're going to get the link. You're going to get all the details to check it out. Okay? You apply this information you learned today, you can easily make over 6 figures. And in the boot camp, we elaborate even more on how to do it. All right? Gang, I want to thank you for your time today. I appreciate you investing your time. Go learn, go implement these things so you can build your referral-based business. Thank you very much. And we're going to bring up our next guest shortly, but it's time to bring up another sponsor. So I'm super excited to bring up Mr. Hunter Higgins with H2H Inspections. So Hunter, I've had the pleasure of doing business with Hunter and his dad for the better part of this year. They're my go-to home inspection company. So Hunter, how long have you and your dad been in business?
About 3 years now, a little bit over 3 years.
Okay, now your dad's been in the industry like his whole life.
We've both been in the construction industry pretty much our whole life. More on the industrial and commercial side, but residential side about 3 years now.
Yeah, so being in the construction industry, you have that firsthand knowledge of actually what it takes to build something.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, now y'all specialize in residential resales, right? VA, new construction. Do you do new construction?
We do it all. We do new construction phase inspections, so we do pre-pour, pre-drywall, final before closing, and then 1-year warranty. So we're there every step of the way.
Yeah. Now Hunter's done a lot of new construction inspections for me. And any agency here ever do some new construction? Right, it's pretty involved with the phase inspections and 11-month inspection. What are some of the biggest what are some of the biggest problems you find with new construction right now, which is why it's essential to hire you to inspect those homes?
Where do you even start? I mean, we found stuff as much as no insulation on 1-year warranty inspections, and clients wondering why their house is so hot and they can't keep it cool. Quality is not what it used to be, so really the options are just endless.
Yeah. Now, one of the reasons I also love working with Hunter is as an agent, has anyone ever experienced when they work with an inspector and it's a huge pain in the butt to get the list together to send to the listing agent for your requests? Talk to us about the software that you have that makes it so easy for us as agents to pull those items to make our own custom PDF to send to the listing agent.
So we use Spectora software. Spectora was actually developed by 2 real estate agents out of Colorado that their dad was a home inspector, and so they kind of collaborated and figured out what was missing, and they came up with this incredible software. And there's, like Rob said, there's some tools in there that make y'all's job quite a bit easier.
Yeah, super easy. Yeah. Now, one of the other reasons I love working with you is it's really easy to schedule an inspection. So if an agent here got a contract tomorrow, wanted to schedule an inspection with you, what would the process look like?
Best way to schedule would be to go to our website at h2hprofessionalinspections.com. You can view pricing, availability, services we offer, and then schedule all from there. We're family owned and operated. It's me and my dad that both do inspections. We have the same licenses. So we have 4 time slots open throughout the week. We're open 7 days a week. You basically go on, find the time slot you like, put in all the information. We get notified, we'll go in and confirm it, and then you and the client will receive a text message and an email with a link to the inspection agreement and the invoice. And go in there and take care of that, and we show up at the scheduled time and take care of the inspection.
Yep. Now, lastly, your attention to detail is really solid. So one of the things I love about your website is when I go to schedule an inspection, there's a mandatory question that says, is this a VA loan? Why do you as the home inspector ask that question?
Because if you have a VA loan, you are required to get a WDI inspection, termite inspection. So we just want to make sure that you're getting, or that the client is getting everything that they need in the inspection process.
Yeah. Did anyone here not know that? Yeah, okay. Because I made the mistake of my very, very first VA, because I didn't know all this stuff. We did the inspection, didn't do the WDI, and it's almost time for closing, and they're like, oh, Rob's worth his WDI report. And I was like, why do you need that? Right? So they take care of that. They already do it. So I absolutely encourage you to check these guys out. They're the best in the business. They have fantastic availability. They make your life easier. Thank you, Hunter. Thank you. All right.
Thank you, buddy. All right, once again, give it up for Rob. Come on, guys. Good job, Rob. And Hunter and all of our sponsors. Thank you all for being here. Really appreciate it. My name is Sean Kokoska. I'm going to be coming up here in a little bit just to pour into you guys and add value to and let you walk out that door with the capability of doubling, tripling, even quadrupling your business over this year or next year. Sound good? Come on, how many of you guys with me? You want to do that? All right, love it, love it. I'm going to bring a guy up here that I've known for years. And in my humble opinion, he is a digital marketing genius. Genius. And it's a shame that all these people that registered didn't show up. What are they thinking? As Rob said, you can be a dream believer or a dream buyer. We have a lot of dream buyers in this room. See, every dream you have comes with a price tag. You guys with me? Turn to the person next to you, give them a high five and say, you're a dream buyer. Attaboy. Good job. All right, Grant, come on up here, man. Grant Wise, he's the founder of a marketing automation platform called Whitley. Guys, when you plug into what Grant's doing and some of the free training that he offers, I'll tell you what, you will show up every morning, turn on your computer, and you'll have a fresh set of leads to follow up with. How many of you guys want that? Yeah, a fresh set of leads to follow up with and convert, and conversion rate should be 3 to 5%. So Grant's going to just show you how to turn on that machine and consistently generate leads in your business. So without any further delay, come on, let's give it up for Grant Wise.
How's everybody doing? Can you hear me? Is the mic loud enough? Everybody can hear me? Yeah. Hear me in the back? Okay, good. Thank you, Sean. I really, really, really appreciate it. And appreciate you guys for giving me the time, attention, and energy. I'm pumped to talk to the 3 people who raised their hand that said they want more leads. This is going to be impactful. I'm totally joking. I am really grateful to be here. Austin's a beautiful place, and I think I've only been able to get here a couple times in the last few years. For the last 9 years, the only thing I've done is teach real estate agents how to do Facebook ads. As you can see, I have no hair, right? I have no hair. I've traveled all around the country. I've been internationally. I've been on some of the biggest stages. I've had the opportunity to speak on the National Association of Realtors stages. I've been on Inman stages. I've spoken at Gary Vee's team asked me to come out and speak on this process. I've been able to go to a lot of really cool places and teach people a process that I'm going to teach you all today that allows you to close more deals more predictably. How many of you would like to be able to do that? Everybody? Okay, we got more hands than just following up on leads, so we're good. You might ask yourself, like, well, Grant, if you've been on all these stages, why would you come into Austin to speak to, a room like this? Normally 300, 400, 500, a couple thousand. And I really believe in what these guys are doing. I believe in what Sean's doing. I believe what he just walked through and taught you guys how to do. Really, absolutely believe in what it is that these guys are teaching you. And so when Sean called and asked if I would come out, definitely jumped at the opportunity because I've had a great relationship with him. And if I can get in here and one of you takes some of this information and goes and actually uses it, it's going to make a really big impact on your life. And so I am excited to be here. I am really excited to pour into you for the next 57 minutes and give you as much as I can. So how many of you, just raise your hands, actively now generate leads in your business? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many of you ever use Facebook ads? How many of you hate Facebook ads? All the same hands. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So today I'm going to be teaching you how to use ads and automation to set more appointments without having to rely on agents on your team who maybe don't convert at the highest rates. How many of you have a team? We have a couple. How many of you are the agent individually that doesn't convert? I'm just kidding. Trapped you. Thank you for playing the game. So if you are a team leader, if you have a team, obviously this talk's more geared toward you, but if you're an individual agent, take everything that I am teaching you today and apply it to what it is, because it certainly applies. So the art and science of using ads and automation to book appointments without having to rely on agents who maybe don't convert at the highest level. So one of the things I always like to tell people is, I've done this at a really high level. You can do it too. I'm the guy that, if you're like, well, if Grant can do it, anybody can do it. So I promise you that if I can do what I'm going to show you today, you can have success with it. Over the last 9 years, we've set 17,500 appointments for our companies using this strategy. That has translated to a $10 million plus training company. It's translated into a multi-million-dollar software company. And it is also the process we've used to sell billions of dollars of real estate. Just this week, just one of our sales team members, 36 booked appointments. He didn't have to do anything. The process I'm teaching you guys here today is what was driving most of that interaction. And he had a 93% show-up rate. Okay, so that means 36 appointments, he talked to 30 people. A really, really, really impactful strategy if it's done and done the right way. Rebecca and Josue are one of my greatest examples of this in the last 5 years. This couple is a power couple. I don't know if you know this name. They're in Orlando. So we first met 5 years ago, and they were using Zillow primarily. It was one of their main deal sources. And they had gotten into the business like 2005, and they'd done consistent production for a long time, and they couldn't seem to break past the 3 to 5 million barrels. Like nothing that they did would allow them to grow beyond that point. And so they broke up with Zillow. Is anybody in here trying to do that? Want to do that? Already done that? Done it. Okay. They broke up with Zillow, and we started implementing these strategies, and their business has grown by 20% annually every year since, except last year. And I'm going to dive into why. Last year, they went from 15 million in annual production from 2020 to 33 million in annual production in 2021. They're on pace to do over 40 million, another 20% growth year. How many of you would absolutely love to consistently grow 20% a year, especially as you start getting into some of those double-digit numbers there? So they were able to break up with Zillow, 15x their annual production. They've generated over $1 million in GCI from what it is that we've taught them, doing nothing more than the simple process I'm going to lay out for you. So when I say I can do it, I know you can do it too. I know you can do it too because I taught Rebecca and Josue how to do it. I've had over 4,000 people that we've coached and consulted on implementing this process. And again, that's translated into billions of dollars in sales. So if you take this process, none of it is theory. I'm not guessing with you. I'm not telling you it might work. Everything I'm going to show you here today is something that has been tested and proven time and time and time again. We've got millions of dollars in advertising that we've spent through this process to perfect it. So just take it step by step, write it down. I love everybody's got something to actually write with. Write it down, ask questions. I'll have a couple minutes for that at the end, and it'll be impactful. They did this. I know that you can do it too. So we've got 3 core secrets I'm going to dive in with you on today. The first secret is the secret weapon behind Facebook leads, why they don't suck, and how you can use them to take over more market share. We're entering a period of time over the course of the next 18 to 24 months. Could be some of the most impactful months in your career, or they could be the reason you leave. One of the two. Between 2008 and 2012, there are 357,000 real estate agents that left the business. Why? Recession. What are we in? Recession, right? If you use this, it can help you take over more market share because the opportunity is going to be there. There's going to be a mindset in this room that wants to expand over the next 12 to 24 months, and there's going to be a mindset that wants to contract. I believe you all want to take over more market share. This strategy can help. How Zillow, Ylopo, Realtor.com, and other lead source providers alone are failing you, and how you can make any lead source profitable. And then lastly, how to turn your, quote, lazy agents into highly productive salespeople. Okay, before we dive in, I want to define the difference between a lead and appointment, because a lot of what we do leads to more appointments. A lead is a name, an email, and a phone number. How many of you want more leads? Just a couple. This is useless information to most people. Why? Because they're not going to follow up. Not going to follow up. You know you have an average of 20 different job roles and responsibilities as a real estate agent? How are you going to possibly and appropriately and effectively follow up with leads at scale the way that you are actually supposed to? None. This is something that nobody actually needs more of. I hear people all the time, I've been over here, I've been over there, I've been over here, I've been over there. I just need more leads. No, I don't think you do. An appointment, by definition, is an arrangement to meet with somebody at a particular time and place. How many of you wish you could just show up to appointments with buyers and sellers that were ready to do business 0 to 30, 0 to 60 days out? the attitude in the room changes a little bit. Yeah, I can get on some of that appointment stuff. That sounds great. Of course it does. This is something everybody needs more of. Here are a few people that have access to the exact same lead sources as everybody else in the industry, but they convert 2 to 3 times more the industry average. I don't know if this face looks familiar. Veronica Figueroa sells over 2,000 homes annually, or at least that's her production in 2021, over $646 million in production. Converts 2 to 3 times the annual average. This is one of our clients. Number 1 mega team in the state of California, Sunit Agarwal. This guy's hilarious to hang out with if you ever get a chance to interact with him. But he is one of the top producers in the entire state of California. We get the pleasure of working with him. The backing of their business is absolutely phenomenal. Converts 2 to 3 times the national average. Number 1 team at RE/MAX worldwide, the Gary Ashton team, fellow bald man, right? Sells $1 billion a year. A year. You guys know how much revenue Zillow generated this year? Last year? $1 billion, right? He had that in sales volume. It's insane. I've been in the back end of their business. They're a client of ours. 2 to 3 times the average, the national average conversion rate. I don't know if this guy looks familiar. Joshua Smith. This guy converts 1 of every 42 leads that he gets from Facebook ads. Over $1 billion in lifetime production, over 6,000 homes sold. This guy has an enormous amount of accolades, but converts 1 of every 42 leads that they get. 2.4% conversion rate on 100 leads as an example. That's 2.4 closings every 100 leads. Absolutely insane. Also happens to be almost 200% better conversion rate than the national average. There's a secret, there's a formula really to their success. And if you follow this formula, you'll stop bleeding cash from unprofitable lead sources, and you'll end up getting more appointments that you can turn into closed deals. Do you guys know, statistically speaking, when you go on an appointment, the average agent closes the first appointment they go on 78% of the time? Literally 78% of the time that you can go on an appointment, you have a probability that you're going to close a deal, whether it's a buyer or a seller. So the odds are greatly stacked in your favor if you get this right. I'm going to dive into the formula, okay? It's attention plus connection equals appointments. Attention plus connection equals appointments. First one, attention. The secret weapon behind Facebook leads, why they don't suck, and how you can use them to take over more market share. If you get this right, you end up getting leads that are interested in working with an agent. If you get this wrong, you end up wasting money on things that don't generate leads at all. How many of you feel that if you've ran Facebook ads before? Spent money, didn't get any leads. or other sources, right? Here's an example of somebody, like I was saying, that got this right. Doubled their production just last year alone from 15 million to 33 million. Connection, how Zillow, Ylopo, Realtor.com, and other lead source providers alone are failing you, and how you can make any lead source profitable. If you get this point right, you can get people to know, like, and trust you before you ever even meet them. If you get this wrong, you become the slimy agent that everybody works to avoid, right? Do real estate agents have the best public perception? No. No, unfortunately, you don't. Not necessarily because of anything that you sitting in this room have done, but because as an industry, some mistakes have been made. Here's another face you may know, Kyle Whistle, Whistle Realty Group, #1 team in San Diego County. They used our connection strategies, and we were able to help increase their conversion rate to appointment. So the lead comes in, they book an appointment with somebody in their ISA team. We increased their lead to appointment rate 65% in 45 days. When you're getting the volume of opportunities coming into your business every day that this team is, that is an enormous amount of opportunity that you can take advantage of. And then lastly, appointments. How to turn your lazy agents into highly productive salespeople. If you get this right, your agents close more deals, or you as an individual agent close more deals. You are happier, and you work harder. How many of you wake up every single day and are just freaking ecstatic to jump on the phones and dial and knock doors and do some of the more traditional things that you've been taught in this industry? Not one. Not one of you. Okay, I understand. If you get this wrong, what continues to happen is your agents avoid your sales meetings. How many of you have agents that don't leave notes in the CRM? How many of you are an agent and you don't leave any notes in your damn CRM? Nobody's wanting to admit this. We have two honest people in the room. This is clear. We have somebody making like the E, like the, ooh, yep, that's the me face in the back. And your agents continue to ignore you. How many of you have high turnover in your teams? Because all you do is talk to the agent, hey, did you follow up your leads today? No, you do that for 2 weeks, and what happens? Well, I'm sick of this shit. I'm not answering the phone anymore, right? Your agents start to ignore you. And then what happens? They leave. You have this high turnover rate. And I know that you're sick of it. I hear about it a lot. This is an agent worked with out of Georgia. Went from no leads converted in 5 months as a client of mine. So I'm like, hey, we got to fix this. I have a reputation I want to take care of. No leads converted at all in 5 months to 5 deals closed in 4 months. The difference, we took that process of setting appointments away from him, we grabbed ownership of it, and then we said, don't worry about it. Just go drive around in your little yellow Porsche and close deals. And that's what he did. Closed 5 deals in 4 months. How many of you in this room believe every deal that you do is worth at least 2 more? That's what you've been taught. That's what a lot of people prove consistently. Guess what? 5 deals closed in 4 months. How many more deals is that in referrals in 12 months? That's a big business ready to happen, right? This is very transformative. Are you guys ready to dive in and execute on this, on how to execute on this? Okay. Attention plus connection equals appointment. So again, attention is the secret weapon behind Facebook leads, why they don't suck, and how you can use them to take over more market share. If you get this right, you get leads that are actually interested in working with an agent. If you get this wrong, you end up wasting money on things that don't generate leads at all. Most people think attention is likes, comments, shares on social media. For every like, comment, share that some of you may be getting in your business, we are getting legitimate contacts added to the CRM of people that actually want to interact with a real estate agent. So you can keep the likes, comments, shares, okay? We're going to keep adding contacts to the database that actually want to communicate with a real estate agent. Write this quote down. Don't ever forget it. Attention is the currency of sales. If you look at some of the largest companies in the entire world, you've got Starbucks, you have Nike, you have Apple. Apple's a really great example of this. Apple's not a computer company. They're not a phone company. They're not a watch company. They're not a car company. They're a media company. They own a ginormous database of contacts that are raving fans of Apple. 2 years ago, Apple introduces something called the iOS update. Did everybody hear anything about this? People never shut up about it. Well, what happened is Facebook, Zuck's like, hey, I need more information about your users. And Apple's like, no. As a matter of fact, we're going to go the other direction, and we're going to introduce an update in our phone that eliminates you being able to track our users at all. And I imagine he said something like, take that, F-face, and like hung up the phone. I'm just kidding. Steve Cook doesn't strike me as that kind of guy, but that's what I would do, right? No. So Apple introduces this update. Now this is all under the guise of privacy, which is it's a sham. Okay. Apple's advertising revenue on its own ad management platform. You want to guess how much it increased in the first quarter? They introduced the iOS update. 40%. This is a $1 trillion industry. They're just wanting to get their piece of it. They just have a really good sales pitch, privacy. But instead, they're driving all of the information, they're taking all the information they understand about you and they're using it themselves to drive ad revenue. But huge impact here is that Facebook's ad revenue got axed. The return on ad spend of some companies, like e-com companies especially, went from 10, 12 down to 2, 3. Made it ridiculously harder to profit. When you own attention, you can do anything that you want. Elon Musk, an example. Guy's got ginormous database of contacts, Tesla, Solar City, or whatever the name of the company is. The new stuff that they're doing with Neuralink, Starlink. This guy literally made flamethrowers in his garage and sold them out in like 4 hours. Okay, he can do anything he wants. Crashes crypto markets, right? Turns over economies in other parts of the world. Can do literally anything he wants because he owns attention. Attention is what it is that you are after. It's also why everybody teaches you to build a big sphere. Okay, the moment you get into business, pull out the phone, call everybody you know and tell them you're in real estate. That's your attention. Those are the people you already know, right? So all this process is designed to do is really help you build a bigger sphere of influence, a larger database. Attention is the currency of sales. So I'm going to introduce you to something I call the Zillow method. How many of you like Zillow? How many of you don't like Zillow? Get some better reactions. Some faces got red in the back, like, don't like Zillow. So what did Zillow do? What did Zillow do?
Tried to cut out realtors.
Okay. They didn't do that first, right? What did they do initially? They gained access to all of your listing information via the MLS and the IDX feeds. They started generating leads, and they started selling those leads. They actually started selling impressions, which they duped you for a very long time. Then they started selling leads. Now they're moving to Flex, right? It's actually selling deals. This is why you're all pissed off, because they got it right, okay? There's 2 core principles behind this. First, don't market yourself. Second, leverage desire over necessity, okay? Now, first point, don't market yourself. Has anybody ever been to Zillow's Facebook page? Just out of curiosity. What do you think's on it? It's literally just houses. That's it. It's houses. It's just pictures of houses. It's videos of houses. It's memes about houses. It's questions about houses. Not one dang thing other than the little Facebook icon and the name, and then the About section is about Zillow. Everything else is about houses. Why? Why do you think that would be?
That's what people want.
That's what people want. There's a key difference. Zillow leverages desire. They take the number one thing that they know people want, which is properties to look at. Did you know 75% of home search on Zillow is not by people that actually want to look at houses or buy a house? It's just people that like looking at houses. They have dominated home search because they give people what they want, not what they need. You all think that they need you. But when you're doing lead generation activities, you are the least relevant part of this process. You're not even the second most important part of this process most of the time. The lenders are. Because the people need a loan, or you're not even going to show them a house. Third in line to the throne. Okay? If you can leverage desire over necessity, your lead generation efforts can just skyrocket. You can fill your databases. I'm not a licensed real estate agent, okay? I've just been in the industry for the last 12 years. I focused solely on over the last 9 years helping agents understand how to generate leads from Facebook. If I got my license today, the number one thing that I would do, hey, can I market your listings for free? And you'd let me. And if he didn't, I'd ask him, and then him, and then him, and then everybody else. Somebody's going to let me market the listings. And guess what? I'm going to generate 200 leads per property, 300 leads per property at $1 a piece. And I'm going to build this monstrous database in the first month of being in the business, and then I'm just going to focus on nurturing the relationships in that database. If you focus on what people desire over what you think that they need, your lead generation efforts can just take off and skyrocket. Give people what they want, not what they need. Once you give them what they want, this is the nuance. As Zillow has consistently proven, they will just keep coming back to you for more and more information. Then you create very specific pieces of content marketing yourself that you show to them, and you can win. By not marketing yourself first, you are positioning yourself as a resource that buyers and sellers actually start paying attention to, instead of just another face in the crowd that they work to avoid. If you do this right, you become the reliable source in your community, and people will consistently come back to you. If you do this wrong, something bad's going to happen. I was in Las Vegas. I actually just experienced this at the Austin airport. Y'all's Uber setup's not cool. But I was in Las Vegas a few weeks ago. I was at the Inman conference, and I was ready to leave. And events are, if you're working at events, like trying to use them to get business, like they're long. 4 a.m., you're up. You don't go to sleep until midnight. It's just meeting after meeting after meeting. It's a grind. But anyways, I'm ready to leave. My flight doesn't leave for a few hours, but I'm ready to go. So I walk out to the bag stand. Hey, can I get my bag? Where do I go to take the Uber? And he was like, oh, well, if you want to take the Uber, you need to walk all the way back across the hotel, and then you can flag an Uber, and then they'll take you to the airport. It's going to take you at least 10 or 15 minutes to walk back to the other side of the hotel. Now, my wife, God bless her, she just got me this new beautiful bag. My black backpack's back there. It's like an Italian leather thing. I freaking love it. But it's heavy as hell, and I'm not used to carrying stuff whenever I'm walking around the airport. I'm usually got a little bag like a drama queen. Like I can just walk around. I don't got to carry anything, right? If they come out with a little remote control one, then I'm going to do that. I don't have to touch anything. And so the guy's like, you can walk across the thing with all your luggage, literally from me to that trash can. He's like, or there's a taxi right there. You can get in the taxi, and they'll have you at the airport before you even get to the other side of the hotel. I turned right around, walked to the Uber. Why? Has anybody ever done that? Walked out of the freaking Austin airport. I could walk into a taxi cab. No, I got to walk to the other side of the place. Go up in the levels of the towers to get into the Uber spot. Uber has sold us all the perception that taking an Uber saves you time. It is more convenient. You don't have to talk to the person. If you can literally designate it as a setting before they pick you up in the car that says, you don't want to talk, or whatever it says, or talk a lot. You don't have to pull out your card. I never know where my card's at, so I happen to have one in my pocket. I don't carry like a wallet around like a normal person. I just carry one card in case I need it. I don't want to have to pull out my card to get into the thing. Like, for me, it's not a great experience. If you and I got in a car together and we drove to the back of the room, I would get motion sick. It's not a good thing. I don't wish it on anybody at all. But for some reason, and I don't know if anybody else has experienced this, when you step into I get into a car that has cloth with taxis who, for some reason, use a ton of the car perfume. I instantly I'm ready to go. I'm going down. It's not good. Now y'all are probably like, this little bitch, he need to get the hell over it, man. I'm in Texas, right? I probably should be breaking out my Texas voice and talking about not being a pansy and all that other stuff. But my point is we will go out of our way now for an Uber. We will literally walk right past the taxis that have the same function as an Uber. But because of the perception that we're going to save time, it is more convenient, Uber created a very consistent and predictable experience. This is why I go to Starbucks. I don't like local coffee, I'm sorry. Because when I go into a Starbucks, I can have the same thing no matter where I go. I literally got to Dallas this morning. I was able to walk into the Starbucks, get the same thing that I would have gotten at home. I'm traveling 16 more times before the end of the year. I'm going to be able to go wherever I go and hit a Starbucks and get exactly what I know that I like. Uber's done the same thing. They've created such a consistent and reliable experience that we will walk past what it is that we need for what it is that we desire. The thing that is happening is home buyers and sellers are walking right past you to Zillow. How many of you have your agents, or as agents have people set up on a home search for your website? And then you get messages from your clients, I saw this house on Zillow, I really like it. Has that ever happened? Makes you want to flip a table. Why did I hire that VA to get you set up on a home search? Why did I pay all this money to get this data linked into my CRM? Right? It's a huge pain in the ass. But Zillow has dominated home search and thus created a very consistent, predictable, and reliable experience. The good news is you guys can do that too. Uber is desire, right? The taxi is necessity. Uber is what people want. Taxi is what they need. Same thing here. We go back to these principles. If you guys do this the right way, You get leads that are actually interested in working with you. You become the Uber in your local community. If you get this wrong, you end up wasting money on things that don't generate leads at all. You end up becoming the taxi. This is a very important lesson to get and understand. If you're doing this type of stuff on Facebook, you're not doing it right. Has anybody ever boosted a post? Now none of you are like, no, I didn't do it. Nope. Not me. You ain't calling me out, Mr. Grant. That ain't happening. If you've boosted posts, all you've done is given Zuck some more money. Like it's not effective in any way, shape, or form. How about this? Anybody currently send traffic to their website? We all do it, right? Because you think that's what you're supposed to do. This is one of the biggest mistakes that I see people make whenever they're using social media advertising or any form of advertising. How many of you, now I'm going to prove this point and piss you all off at the same time. How many of you have ever gone home, your spouse, your significant other, your partner, whatever, and you have said, hey, what do you want to eat for dinner? This guy grunted. We all have. Some of us are turning red. My back of my head's getting hot because I get mad kind of thinking about it. My wife never knows what the hell to eat, right? How many of you are like, okay, what do you want to eat? I don't know. I don't know what to eat. I don't know. Where do you want to go? I don't know. 5-10 minutes goes by. Now you're hangry. Right? Where the fuck do you want to eat? We live in a society that craves options and hates making decisions. What happens when you send people to your website, you're having the dinner conversation. There are too many decisions for them to make. You can test me on this. Go to your own websites, look at the Google Analytics. You're going to see that your average duration for a site visit is probably 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, but your opt-ins 10 times worse what they would be if you did use something like landing pages or lead forms. Because people come to your site, they have all of these things that they can do. They don't know what action to take, so they just leave. And you never know who it was. Microsoft invented landing pages back in the early 2000s because their sales were suffering. They moved from a page where you could buy any product you wanted to a page where you could only buy one product per page. Guess how much their sales increased in a single quarter? 28%. And the only thing that they changed was this concept. If you guys are sending people to your website, you are making a huge mistake. If you're doing stuff like this, posting weird headshots, stats nobody cares about. Now, some of y'all laugh. I have a funny story about this meme, or this picture. That is a page 1 Google search of weird realtor headshots. For me. Sean's laughing in the background. So y'all are like, I would never do some dumb shit like that. Somebody does often, okay? So be on the lookout. Sorry for my cursing. I'll pull that back. When you guys are putting out stuff like this on the internet, it is not what people care about. Don't do anything like this on the internet, okay? If this is what you like, that's cool, but it's not going to help you get any more real estate business. This, posting stats. How many of you post your accolades? Come on, you can be real with me. Are you getting accolades? My man. Posting stats is vanity, unfortunately. Nobody really cares about it but you. Especially from a lead generation perspective, it is not going to help you win names, email addresses, phone numbers of people that actually are interested in buying and selling property. They do not care about you first. If you're using Facebook ads the right way, this should be the type of performance that you should expect. If you get 100 leads from Facebook, 58% of those leads should be interested in having a conversation, or should be talking to you, not interested in, talking to you. 17% of the 58% should be qualified, meaning that they are interested in buying a property, they want to be set up on a home search, or they're interested in selling a property and they want you to give them their home value. 40% of the 17% should actually book time to meet with you. And then 50% of those should close. Now, the industry average for conversion, if you guys were wondering, is 0.8%. Not 8%, Not 1.8%. It's less than a percent. It's 0.8%. These stats, 150% better than the industry average. If you're doing Facebook right, these are the types of results that you should expect to get as an average. This is the big difference between Facebook leads and what we like to call Whitley leads. Now, they're exclusive, they're qualified, and they convert. One of the reasons that we have so much success with our Whitley ads is we're able to generate 200 to 300 buyers per property that you guys have to sell. Just a second ago, I said if I got into the industry today, what's my strategy? I'm calling all the agents I can to get somebody to let me market their listing. 200 to 300 buyers per property interested. We can automatically target where people are buying in the market right now. And because of the way that we do this, we can actually generate seller leads at $6 to $10 per lead. Is anybody in here getting seller leads for $6 to $10 per lead? How many of you would like to? Hell yeah, right? Of course. And so it's different. It's the way that we do it is 100% different. So if you're boosting posts, if you're sending traffic to your site, if you're doing weird stuff like this, if you're posting these accolades, this is not going to help you from a lead generation standpoint. Remember the Zillow method. Okay? Remember the Zillow method. The Zillow method again is don't market yourself first, and then leverage desire over necessity. Give people what they want, not what they need. Now, there's something that Zillow can't do. And Zillow alone or other lead providers are failing you. The industry's conversion rate is proving that. And as hard as some of these companies try, they're failing miserably to try to replace you. But that doesn't mean they're not trying. So we go back into the next part of the formula. So we've got attention down. Now I want to talk to you about connection. Okay, so connection, how Zillow, YLopoRealtor.com, and other lead source providers alone are failing you, how you can use, how you can make any of these lead sources profitable. If you get this right, people like you and trust you before they ever even meet you. If you get this wrong, you become the slimy agent everybody works to avoid. I want you guys to take a picture of this. Write this down, don't forget it. More is not better. Better is better. You guys, we get so many requests. I just need more leads. I just need more leads. I just need more leads. You do not just need more leads. That is not the solution to your problems. I promise you. After 17,500 phone calls, after 4,000 coaching clients or consulting clients, I promise you don't need more leads. This is the last thing that you need. I want to introduce you to something called the ROC principle. So how many of you in here are fans of the ROC? Most people. Okay, cool. The ROC principle relies on two core concepts. First, potential scammer likely. The second is what psychologists call a parasocial relationship. Now, the first thing I'm going to talk to you about is scam likely. How many of you have ever got a phone call like this? How many of you would answer it? Nobody willing to admit it? The guy that's trying to hire the person that's calling him? Am I wrong or am I wrong? Now, you guys have gotten calls like this. One of you answers the phone. Right? Now, how many of you have business phone numbers? Call from your phone, use it for business phone number. How many of you have ever thought that when you go to call a lead, that's what the call looks like? Actually happened to him. Apple built a feature in your phone to block unknown callers. How many of you have that in place? I used to get 100 robodials a day. Now I get 0. Thank you to my assistant who showed me how to do that. This company built functionality in their phones to block y'all from being able to get in touch with the people that opted into your stuff because they don't know you. Something to know and understand is that this is actually happening, but it's happening to you when you're making phone calls. We've got to fix that. So parasocial relationships. A parasocial relationship, by definition, is a one-sided relationship. So again, how many of you in here like this guy? Do we have the biggest fan of The Rock in here by chance? Is anybody in here I'm a huge fan of The Rock? We got somebody covering their face, smiling. Who in here is just scream out, who's your favorite celebrity? Tom Selleck. Oh, all right. That's the most fired up I've seen you all day, so I'm going in on this. Okay, what is your name? My name's Colin. Colin, thanks for playing along with me. All right. Tom Selleck. Big guy, mustache. The man's man. Okay. Now I'm going to prove this point for everybody. Colin, right? You're a fan of Tom Selleck. Do you know him personally? No. Okay. Does he know you personally? He could Google you. Is he going to Google you, Colin? Okay. So let's say you and I, now you know me, I'm sitting right here, and I know you, you're sitting right there, right? Let's say you and I are having a conversation, and it's going pretty good, and all of a sudden I start to badmouth Tom Selleck. Dude's mustache. This is not porn. Like, you need to let it go. Okay, his movies are not good. He was horrible in Friends. Blue Bloods is awful. I feel like we've touched a nerve with Colin. Now, again, I asked before I said that. You don't know Tom Selleck, and Tom Selleck doesn't know you, right? Okay. Thank you, Colin. The point here, this is the power of a one-sided relationship. Okay? Now, this is most common in celebrities. The Rock, Tom Selleck, many others. But in early 2020, they recategorized influencers as the newest form of celebrity. I wonder why. Ever since you were little kids, and I just noticed, Sean, I'm taking up a ton of time. My apologies. I just noticed that, ever since you were little kids, your parents, you're annoying me, go watch some cartoons. You're annoying me, go watch some cartoons. I gotta work, go watch some cartoons. I'm trying to clean the damn house, and you're just making a mess of it, go watch some cartoons, right? Whatever it was. And you started watching TV. And then you got a little older and you started watching your teenage shows, and then a little older. How many of you watch TV today? Cool, 4 of you, awesome. I'm a huge fan of The Blacklist. I'm also a huge fan of, now I can't remember the name of it, Big Bang Theory. It's one of my favorites. But we grow up and we are celebritizing what we see behind a TV screen. Our networks used to be ABC, NBC, CBS. Today, the screen isn't these devices, it's the ones in your hands. And your networks are Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube. And because of the way that you were brought up, programmed to celebritize what you saw behind a TV screen, you're developing the same types of relationships with influencers. Everybody have a favorite influencer that they follow, somebody that they like to take advice from, somebody that they learn from, maybe even it's this dude, right? It could be. 4th most followed Instagram account in the world, 335 million followers. But the point is, what happens to people when they see you in video format consistently, right, is they develop these raving fan-like relationships, like Colin with Tom Selleck. I didn't have to I just said a couple bad things. I said 4 bad things about Tom Selleck, and he was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You proved your damn point. Shut up, man. Gonna make me look like a fool in front of all these people. How many of you wish that you had people in this community in Austin that liked you as much as Colin likes Tom Selleck? Of course you would. Now you might say, Grant, look, he's got the movies, the shows, the story, like all this other stuff. That's why he's got all them followers. Okay, what about this guy? You know this guy? What's he done consistently for the last 10 years? Not shut up on video. Pissed everybody he can off. Right? Now he's doing that on purpose. Right? Negative news travels at a rate of 12 to 1. That man is pissing people off on purpose. Okay? One of my favorite quotes is of his. He said, if 50% of the people in this country hated my guts, I could be president of the United States. So, I don't think he cares that he's pissing y'all off. You say, well, I'm not Grant Cardone. I'm not going to go piss people off. Okay, what about this guy? Ryan Serhant. Well, I don't have a show, Grant. I can't do that. Okay, what about this guy? Oh, I don't have a show, Grant. I can't. Okay, fine. What about this guy? Oh, look, it's me. Every day for the last near decade, I've appeared in some form via video to my audience. Some people, I was on the phone with somebody yesterday, last night, I hadn't seen him in a long time. He's like, oh man, I haven't seen you forever. It feels like, it's 3 or 4 years since we've connected. I was like, you still see my Facebook ads though, right? He was like, yeah, still seeing your damn Facebook ads. Every day for the last 7 years, I've been seeing your Facebook ads. I have been relentless. If I couldn't create content, I wanted to at least spend money in advertising so people were seeing me every single day. I don't have the biggest following in the world, 15,000 followers, but it's translated to a couple multi-million-dollar companies, okay? Veronica Figueroa, #1 team at EXP in 2021, 2,150 homes sold on video all the time. Kyle Whistle, #1 team in San Diego County, one of the top brands in San Diego in the real estate space, one of the top brands in the real estate space in general, only has 12,000 followers, video. This guy, John Cheplack, one of the most in-demand speakers right now. I think he's going to be at some EXPCon in a couple of weeks, if I'm not mistaken, right? 11,000 followers. Now, I happen to work with this guy, but it's insane what type of business he's built with a few thousand followers. Joshua Smith, $1 billion in annual production. Not in annual production, $1 billion in total production, $2 billion in total production. Less than 10,000 followers. He's also built a multi-million-dollar training company, 2,700 software users. These people are building these monstrous companies. They don't have all the followers in the world. If you haven't, you should read the book. It's called 1,000 True Fans. And it is the concept that an artist can become an icon if they just have 1,000 people that really love their work. Some of y'all don't need what you think you do. Some of you just need 10 people that love you to death. You need 100 people that absolutely love you to death. And you could build these enormous companies. Leads alone are not enough, okay? You think that a professional image is your car, your Benz, your business cards, your website. And in the online lead generation space, these people don't actually even see any of these things until they actually start creating a connection with you. But now, it used to take 8 to 12 touches, we could close the deal. Now we need 8 to 12 touches just so somebody wants to talk to you. Your car's not going to help. It may help a little bit, but if they don't ever see it, what's it matter? This is a different world that we're living in, okay? You don't just need another lead source. You need a better lead source. And if you're not showing your personality to your leads every single day, if you are not promoting with a purpose, if you're just throwing stuff out there to see what sticks, if the only thing that you are doing, which is what you've been taught to do, is calling and texting and emailing your leads, you're not creating a connection with your audience that's going to ultimately translate to more deals. Remember the rock principle, okay? Remember, information only wins you more opportunity. Information only wins you more opportunity. This is why Zillow can't replace you. Because they can't get into these communities and develop relationships the way you can. Because what we know is this is a relationship-based business. Information will only win you more opportunity. Relationships are what win you business, which is why Zillow relies on you to buy leads or their new flex programs. Any of these other lead sources are the same. They need you. If you do this the right way, people like you and they trust you before you ever meet them. And if you do this the wrong way, you become the slimy agent that everybody works to avoid. This is really important. Now, my last point, I'll hurry up, Sean, I'm sorry. How to turn your lazy agents into highly productive salespeople. Now, how many of you on your team have teams again? Raise your hands. How many of you ever said, God, my agents are just being lazy? If you're being honest. Somebody's like turning their head like, ooh. How many of you as solo agents have ever felt like shit because somebody said that you were lazy even though you were working your ass off? Right? We hear it all the time in this industry. Well, the agents just must be lazy. The agents just must be lazy. The agents just must be lazy. No, damn it, like y'all are busy, right? Average agent has 20 different job roles and responsibilities. How the hell can you actually focus on lead generation, follow-up rather, when you also have 19 other hats that you're wearing? It's an impossibility. You're not lazy. I think you're just focused on the wrong things. If you do this right, your agents are going to close more deals. They're going to be happier, and they're going to work harder. If you do this wrong, Your agents are going to continue to avoid your sales meetings. They're going to continue to ignore your CRM, which is detrimental to your business. And they're going to continue to ignore you. Okay, so I want to introduce you to a concept called the Mayo Clinic method. I actually have 2 principles for this. The Mayo Clinic, I got 2 points. This is a well-oiled machine, and it has unbelievable systems and processes. So back in 2012, this is me and a gentleman named Landon. I had it was an unbelievable opportunity. I got to go donate my kidney. He had a rare disease. It's called IgA nephropathy. It's an incurable kidney disease, and he was on dialysis for a couple of years. He had decided December 25th, 2012, he was going to spend that time with his family, and then he was going to go off dialysis. He didn't want to do it anymore. And I knew like October, November that I was a blood type match because I was going through some health stuff of my own. And I was like, I think I can donate my kidney. Look at that hair I got. You see that? That's what y'all did to me. I'm just kidding. So I was like, I'm going to send in my blood work. And I sent it in, and they said, yeah, you can donate if you want to. You've got to come in for these tests. And so you're going to go through 56 tests in 48 hours. And if you clear all of that stuff, we'll let you donate your kidney. Now, I'm thinking, my only experience with hospitals is if your leg's falling off, you're sitting your ass down until it's your turn in the emergency room, right? I'm going to die. Like, there's no way I'm going to get through 56 appointments in 48 hours. That doesn't even seem possible. So I went down. I had my little intro meeting. And it was like -5 degrees outside. I literally watched somebody take a cup of water and throw it in the air, and it turned into snow on the way down. It's like, it's freezing out there. I'm going to freeze my ass off on all these appointments. They're like, no, don't worry about a thing. We have a complete underground system. You can walk underground in our tunnels from all the appointments you need to go to. I was like, okay, but like I don't want to walk from 1 mile there to 1 mile. Like I'm not going to be walking all over the place. Like, don't worry about a thing. Your appointments aren't more than 5 minutes from each other. You're going to be just fine. I was like, but what if I run late to one appointment, then I'm going to have to, like, what's going to happen to the others? He's like, don't worry about a thing. You're going to finish all of your appointments on time. You're going to be early to your next appointment. I promise. It's like, okay. And I went through it, and that's exactly what happened. I didn't have to go outside one time. Thank goodness it was, because it was cold. I was never late to a single meeting. I got through all of those things, passed my body inspection, and was able to donate my kidney. The point here is that if they didn't have the right systems and processes, if they hadn't built a well-oiled machine, that would have never even been possible. What shocked me is I was not the only person going through that day. There were hundreds of people going through these appointments. Same thing is true in your follow-up. If there's no consistent and specific follow-up, there's no conversion. And the lead is completely useless. It's a waste of your time, and it's a waste of your money. You today must follow up with your leads 24/7 in a way that makes sense for the lead, not for you. Because what do agents say? Did you follow up with the leads? What do they say? I called them once. I text them. You know there are 5 different forms of communication that can be utilized across over a dozen different platforms. It isn't always about what you want. And so it's really important to make sure that you're not only following up 24/7, but you are also doing so in a way that makes sense for the lead. You know that 66% of the leads that we've followed up on in the last 90 days come in past 10 o'clock at night. Interesting stat. If you're leaving follow-up to your agents, if you're an individual agent and you're leaving this up to yourself, this is how you might feel every morning, drinking your cup of coffee. Next, the climbing fish concept. Have you ever, there's 2 points here, optimize talent and empower your people, okay? Optimize your talent, empower your people. Has anybody ever heard this quote? Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish based on its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. Some of your agents feeling stupid because you're judging them based on something that they are not good at. I would like to remind you, if you have a team and agents, they're on your team because they can't convert leads themselves. If they could, they wouldn't want to be on a team. It's way more profitable to be an agent by yourself as opposed to building a team or to be the team leader, right? If you're doing this right. We do this by offloading and empowering the agents to do what they are really good at. How many of you know when your agents get face-to-face with people, they're good? They close deals. It doesn't even make sense to you. Like, I don't understand why they're so good in person, but I can't get them to follow up. Hey, guess what? They don't want to follow up. We set the appointments. The agents just close the deals. That's the function of an agent on a team. Oh, by the way, that is also your function if you are an agent, whether you are on a team or not, is to close deals. What does every coach I've ever heard of in this space tell you to do? Focus on revenue-generating activities. Closing deals. That's a revenue-generating activity. Do not keep repeating these same old patterns. You keep hiring agents and then harassing them about follow-up or CRM data or this, that, other thing, and then what happens? You fire them and you have this really high turnover problem. Don't keep repeating these mistakes. Again, I want to remind you that the only reason these agents are on your team in the first place is because they can't convert leads on their own. If they could, they wouldn't need you. Now, there are other systems and processes that are very valuable that agents get from a team. But the main thing that agents are being judged based on is their ability to follow up and close leads, and they're not doing it. Agents just want to close deals. So use your agents for what they're really, really good at, which is closing deals. Let them get face-to-face with people that are ready to buy and sell now. Give your agents the opportunity to work with the 030, 060 buyers and sellers that are ready to go. That is where they shine. 1,000%. Don't judge them based on their ability to climb a tree, i.e., follow up with leads. Lazy agents plus leads, or what you call lazy agents, right? This is what continues to happen. Empowered agents plus appointments, it's a completely different story. If you're sending leads to your agents, this is how you might feel. This lady looks pissed. I don't know who she is. Do y'all know who she is? Thank God, no. I have no idea who that is. The lady literally just looked pissed, so that's why I put this up here. Trying to send VAs to follow up with your leads, and you have no systems and processes. Has anybody ever hired a VA company to follow up on leads thinking, great, this is going to solve my problem? And they said, okay, what's your sales process? And you said, what's the sales process? And then they hire you, they work for you for 60 days, and you fire them because you're not getting an ROI. Huh? How's that working out? How many of you have ever tried to hire an ISA to convert when you can't even convert yourself? Oh, I'm going to hire Jerry. Jerry is really, really, really good. I like him a lot. I think he's going to be great at this. If you're not closing deals on your own and then you go to hire somebody to try to do it, I'm going to tell you right now, you're just going to waste your time, your money, your energy. 90 days is going to go by. You're going to be pissed. And then you're going to have to go back to following up the leads anyway. You can't do this if you don't have any proven systems and processes in place to hand to somebody. Warren Buffett said you should build your company so that it can be ran by a monkey. Because hopefully one day it will be. Meaning it should be so damn simple to do what it is that you do because you have documented it and you can repeatedly teach other people how to go out there and run this thing for you that you can build this monstrous company. If you're doing this right, this is what you should be experiencing. How many of you would gladly close 2 deals out of every 100 leads that you generated? Especially if the average cost per 100 leads is $500, $600, $700, $800. It's really profitable. 3, 4, 5x return on ad spend. And then guess what? Every deal you do is worth 2 more, which makes it that much more profitable. The two biggest expenses you have right now in your business, poor follow-up on existing leads and having your agents focus on the wrong thing, or if you are that agent, it's being focused on the wrong thing. And it's really important that you fix that. Don't forget the Mayo Clinic method. If you get this right, you can build a predictable machine inside of your business. If you do this wrong, you're just going to continue to waste time, money, and energy on what you call lazy agents. And then don't forget the climbing fish concept. If you get this part right, your agents are going to close more deals, they're going to be happier, and they're going to work harder. And if you do this wrong, you're just going to continue to be frustrated on the wrong things, which is, again, what you call lazy agents. When you get all of this right, you can win. Man, and you can win really, really, really big. The secret behind Facebook leads, why they don't suck, and how you can use them to take over more market share. You get the attention piece right. The connection piece, how Zillow, Ylopo, Realtor.com, and other lead source providers alone are failing you, and how you can make any of those companies profitable. And then lastly, the appointment part, how to turn your lazy agents into highly productive salespeople. Again, you can win, and you can win really big. This is a client of mine. We worked together for literally 6 months, and it was 6 months of me meeting with him week in and week out. Why have you not closed a deal? Why have you not closed a deal? I don't understand what's happening. And I said, let me have this process. We're not going to keep wasting all this money. 25 appointments set in just 4 months. He's already closed 4 deals, got some referrals in the works, and he's got 3 more pending. Right? That's a stark contrast to the types of results. This lady, Alicia Collins, she's in Casper, Wyoming. 9 appointments booked in the last 45 days. She was just at one of the events that we were hosting. And she told me out of the 9 appointments, they already know that they have a deal they're about to close. 45 days, 9 appointments. Kelly Salter, one of the top teams in their market in North Carolina. 4 appointments booked in the last 30 days. After calling me saying, Grant, I just wasted a ton of money on this company. That they were running ads and that we were getting leads and nothing was happening. We snapped this process that I just walked you all through right in place. 4 appointments in the last 30 days, not leads. Remember, a lead is just the name, email, phone number to add to the database. An appointment, right? A time and a place to meet with somebody that's interested in buying or selling a property. This is why the industry standard is 0.8%, and our standard, the Whitley standard, is 150% better. You guys don't have to continue to struggle if you don't want to, and you don't have to continue to settle for results when you could be doing much better. You guys can achieve the Whitley standard too. Here's exactly what Whitley will do for you if you'd like. We can do your lead generation. If you don't want to own this part, you guys, if you can keep trying to do this the right way or the wrong way, keep wasting money on things that don't generate leads at all, or you can just let me step in and do it for you, and I'm going to get you leads that are actually interested in working with a real estate agent. We will also do your remarketing, help you create very specific pieces of content, not that we just post on social media, but that we promote to leads that you are generating from any source, and help you increase your conversion through the type of connection we help you create. You can do this wrong and continue to be the agent that the leads you are generating are avoiding. In 2019, 85 million leads generated. You know how many homes sold? 6 million. 9 leads to every transaction. Or you can let us just do this the right way. You can become the agent that people like and trust before you ever even meet them. We'll do all of your follow-up. You don't have to wake up tomorrow and think, I got to follow up with my leads, or Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. We just jump in and do it for you. You can keep doing this wrong, keep wasting money, time, money, energy on what you call lazy agents, or let us step in and help you build a predictable machine. We do all of this just so we can set appointments for you, okay? Time, place to meet with buyers, sellers that are actually interested in doing business with a real estate agent. You can keep doing this on your own and continue being frustrated with either yourself or whatever you call lazy agents, or you can have your agents closing more deals, happier, and working harder. We do all of this for you. We don't need you to lift a finger other than give us a couple pieces of video content. The average client that we work with, we have a lot of really interesting data, gets their first appointment set in just 25 days. If you guys would like to take advantage of this, you can. This is our Appointment Plus plan, all completely done for you. We'll do your lead generation, your remarketing, your follow-up, your appointments. You can scan this QR code and you can go sign up on the site right now while I'm here. And if you do, I believe so much in this process that I will cover your first month's ad bill. Okay, we typically recommend that you spend $300 a month in advertising to get the types of results that we can anticipate. And I believe in this so much that if you go and you sign up while I'm here, use the code ICON300, I will cover your first month's ad bill. It'll just discount it right off of the fee whenever you go to sign up for our Appointment Plus plan, which is what you would want to sign up for on our site. If you still have questions whenever you go to the site, you can just scroll all the way to the bottom and click the demo button, and you can book time to meet with a member of our team next week. Thank you guys so much for giving me the opportunity to come in here, laugh with you. Hopefully you guys learned a few things today, and I hope you have an amazing rest of the day. If you never heard Sean speak, you are absolutely in for a treat. You guys having a good time today so far? Yes? Thank you.
All right, gang, we're about to get started with our last session. Hopefully everyone is refreshed. This is being awesome. I'm super excited about this one. I'm super excited for our sponsor, and I'm super excited to introduce Sean Coates. So it's been a good day. We're on the final sprint to the finish, and then you'll have to be the starting for this. I'd like to bring up Christina Foster, the Rise Transaction Manager. I just finished my cold brew, so I'm going to have enough energy for everybody. Okay, don't worry. Everybody hop on my back. I got you. So I'm really excited to introduce Christina. When I realized I needed a transaction coordinator, thank you, in my life. When I realized I needed a transaction coordinator in my life, I went through like 5 or 6. Just deal after deal, I had a few more on tap. I found Christina, we did our first deal, and then I literally called the other transaction coordinators who I was going to do a deal with and said, hey, thanks for your time. I just want to be very transparent. I sent out my TC like forever. I'm good. Thank you. I've been using Christina and her company ever since. It's been almost a little over 2 years. And I was not exaggerating when I said I have deals I forget about because her company is so good. So let's talk about that a little more. What is it that you do that separates you and your company from all the other TCs?
Yeah, I actually really love that question. I think we have a few, I guess, reasons that separate us from other transaction management companies. One, our vision in our company is to serve our agents. We really want to take as much as we can off of their plates so that they can go do what they do and make money. And if you're changing lives, that's what we're here for. We want to serve you guys. Another reason is that our education, we love to educate. We have been in the business for 14 years. We've closed about 3,000 transactions, and through all those transactions, we've learned a lot of mistakes, which we're able to teach. So we're here to educate our agents as well as our transaction managers. And our system. We were just talking about our new system. Our system is amazing. We know our competition, and we know our competition isn't using the same system like we're using it. So, yeah, I think a few reasons set us apart from everybody else.
Yep, absolutely. Now, we talked about the other sponsors and their level of communication. I love your level of communication with your team. So talk about like your thoughts on communication and why it's so paramount when you work with your agents.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So we talk about internal communication and we talk about external communication in our team all the time. External, make sure, even internal, received, thank you. Know how you're going to follow up, like communicate, I'm going to follow up on this so your agent and the team knows this is how I'm going to follow up on this. So communication is huge in our company.
Absolutely. Lastly, one of the best features I love is your calendar events. Tell everybody about how you do the calendar events when you get a contract.
Oh, yeah. So you're going to receive a calendar invite just like we have it on our schedule. You're going to have it on your schedule. It's our responsibility to follow up on all the dates, to make sure that we're meeting timelines, but at the same time, it's on your calendar, so you can also watch that as well. Yeah. But it's for all of our timelines, title commitment, HOA docs, I mean, everything that some agents don't know. You know, sometimes agents don't know that you have to provide a title commitment within 20 days. We're following up on all of that to make sure that those commitments are met.
It's great. Within an hour of sending a contract, I get like 8 to 10 calendar events. So then later, if I'm like, oh, when is that option fee up? I don't know. I'll just check the calendar event. Christina sent it to me, right? It's amazing. So I absolutely encourage you to talk to Christina. Get your contract to close with Bryce Transaction Management. Huh? I got it. Yeah. It is a true honor to bring up Sean Kokoska. I met Sean a little over a year ago. He's been my coach and our team coach. He has been a huge influence in my life, in my income. You can read his stats up here. He has sold over 4,000 homes in his career. He really is the billion-dollar agent. Mortgage company, title company, land development company. He's been a builder, the former president of KW Maps. So like the training program that whole brokerage uses, he put that on the spotlight. He's consulted and coached with top agents and teams in the country. He is the guy at building brokerages and building teams. He's worked with just a few world-renowned companies like Pepsi, McDonald's, GMC, Genentech, Sport Clips, T-Mobile, FedEx, Panasonic, and more. He is my coach, and I'm honored to call him my friend in this, Mr. Sean Kokoska.
Thank you, Rob. Good man. Check, check. Can you guys hear me? Did I shut that off? How about now? Tune in Tokyo. Can you hear me? All right, good, good. Well, welcome everybody, and thanks for sticking around. As I said earlier, we got a room full of dream buyers right now, right? Those other dream believers, they're just out there. They're sitting at home, they're golfing, they're doing whatever, and here you are improving your knowledge, skills, mindset, and habits. Show of hands real quick. How many of you believe in your heart of hearts that your business, your production, your bank account balance, and your net worth is going to grow to the extent that you personally grow? I believe that with my whole heart, no doubt about that. So think about this word, success. Now think about it. How would you define this word? Turn to the person next to you and just share with them your definition of the word. Kayla knows the answer. All right, right on, guys. Way to go. Now, how many of you, your counterpart, had a different definition than you had? Anyone? Had a different definition? Yeah, let's be honest. If we had the time, took the time, asked 1,000 different people, what is your definition of this word? You'd end up with around 1,000 different definitions. Is that fair? So it's kind of hard to get your mind around, what does it mean to be a success? What does it really mean, and how do I know if I'm successful? I'm going to give you the answer. According to Webster's dictionary. See, I felt if I understood this word, if I knew it to the core, that I too could become successful. And here's the definition. It's getting what you want. Not what the person sitting next to you thinks that you should want, or what your significant other thinks you should want. It's about getting what you want at the end of the day. So I don't care. Do you want to close 5 transactions a year? 50 transactions a year? Or like one of my clients, Mark Spain, 8,800 transactions last year? As long as you're getting what you want, massively successful in my eyes. So when I think of that, I think of my wife. I really do. My best friend. Her number one mission in her life is to have our 3 beautiful kids look at her and say, you know what, Mom? You're the best mother in the world. And while sure there's ups and downs in all relationships, I promise you one thing, all 3 of our kids, they'd look her dead in the eyes and say, Mom, I love you. You're the best. To me, she is massively successful. You guys with me? So it's getting what you want at the end of the day. Yet a lot of people, they think success looks just like this, right? I get my real estate license. Straight out of a cannon, on to extraordinary results. Nothing in my way, man. I'm going to close 100 deals my first year in sales. Yet anybody who's achieved the pinnacle, they'll tell you success doesn't look like that, gang. It looks more like that. See, success is a mess. I want to give you the secret. Individuals who achieve at a great level in real estate sales, here's the secret. They fail faster than anyone else. Yet they fail forward. As Rob said, the only failure in life is to give up, to quit. They fail forward. See, they implement faster than other people. They deploy faster than other people. They find what doesn't work faster than other people. As a direct result, they find what works faster than other people. And when they find a strategy, a tactic that actually works, they focus on scalability. They apply additional time, energy, money, resources, whatever it takes, they're going to get out there and they're going to scale it out. They're going to crush it. So I'm going to get through this quickly. This is a model toward mastery. Now, I've designed this based on everybody I've ever been coached by and everybody I've ever coached, and there's thousands and thousands and thousands. By the way, I was kind of smiling in the back of the room as I'm looking at all these empty seats, and I'm thinking, mindset, right? I mean, I could look at the empty seats and say that's a failure, yet I'm looking at each and every one of you. You're why I'm here. The first time, how many of you guys have heard of the BOLD training program for Keller Williams? See, Diana Kokoska and I wrote that. Diana did the majority of the heavy lifting. I'll give her that. Yet, the first time we presented the BOLD training program, there were 14 people in the room. 14 people. I don't know many of you know this, yet now that program has graduated over 700,000 realtors in North America alone. So everything you do, it starts small. Reminds me of one of my favorite quotes. Every master was once a, what, Gayla? A disaster. Gayla and I just talked about this the other day. She's like, Sean, I'm trying to learn all this stuff, and you're doing Gayla, just calm down. Every master was once a disaster. It's just how it is. So we all start at a foundational level. Now, many realtors, they jump into the business and they don't focus on foundation at all. They think it's all about who you know, and sometimes that's true. Yet a lot of times it's not. So foundation is where you focus. And by the way, 4 categories of foundation. First is your knowledge. Next, your skill. It affects your mindset. And of course, at the core of everything we do, it's our habits. Now, knowledge, meaning you got to know what to do, you got to know what to say. Your skill, you got to know how to do it, you got to know how to say it. When you focus on those first 2 key categories, it almost immediately impacts your confidence, leads to a higher level of competence, and it impacts your mindset in a really powerful way, right? See, I believe 95% of our success in anything we do, it is in fact mindset. I mentioned habits. There's a guy named F.M. Alexander, pretty smart guy, by the way. He said this: people do not decide their future, they decide their habits. And their habits decide their future. Yet where do most people, where do they form habits? Is it consciously or subconsciously? Subconsciously. I mean, something happens, we have a reaction, and that reaction produces a result. Now, researchers estimate that only 3% of the time are we actually acting outside of habit. 3% of the time. So the next time that something happens, guess what? We have the same reaction, don't we? And we get the same result. We brought that reaction to the point of automaticity or a habit. Now, how many of you believe that in order to get to better, you must get to different? You got to get to different. Do what you've always done, you're going to get what you always got. See, this foundation is your state of being. It's how you show up to the world. Your clients, your prospects, your friends, your family. And the 4 things that impact your state of being is your knowledge, skills, mindset, and habits. See, a lot of people, like I haven't been guilty of this in the past, for sure, and even still today, from time to time, I have to catch myself. How many of you have been guilty of comparing yourself to somebody else? Anyone? And how does that make you feel? Inadequate? Embarrassed? Ashamed? All the negative feelings that come from that? See, we say don't compare your insides to somebody else's outsides. They're only showing you what they want you to see. And yet, we approach success sometimes like this. Well, if I have what so-and-so has, then I could do what they do, then I could be the person I want to be. See, that's having first. It's not how it goes. Anybody who's achieved the pinnacle, like they climbed to the peak of the mountain, guys, it's not that somebody picked them up and put them there. You can't have it first. That's completely backward. A lot of people think achieving success looks like this. Well, if I do the work, then I'll have the income, I'll have the bank account balance, right? Then I could be the person I want to be. See, it's not about having first. It's not about doing first. It's really about being first. Being the person you need to be. You'll think like that person thinks, which means you're going to do what that person should do. And you're going to have whatever it is you want in your life. Now, foundation is a core. I mean, with the right foundation, gang, you can build your business as big as you want to build it. Without a foundation, it's going to crumble like a house of cards. Next phase is the pipeline phase. It's everything you're doing proactively, reactively to identify and earn the business of the buyer and seller prospects in the marketplace today. With tenacity, and it does take tenacity, you're going to break through to this position of what I call momentum. How many of you guys are in momentum now or have been in the momentum in the past? Anyone? Yeah. It's a fun place to be. It's also a scary place to be. See, this is where our transaction coordinator in the back of the room here comes in handy, right? Because a lot of people, they get 5, 6, 7 pending contracts. They get stuck down in the weeds, don't they? They're handling the transactional work. I mean, all the addendums and the paperwork is signed, and they're chasing deals around and holding the hands of the clients through the process. And they begin focusing on what I call the 80% work. See, it's Pareto's principle, right? 80-20 rule. 20% of your actions in real estate sales will yield at least 80% of your results. And you get 5, 6, 7 pending contracts, and you start focusing on the 80% stuff, don't you? Now, the 80% stuff is all the things that need to be done, but they don't necessarily move the needle for you or your production. 20% work. Let me give it to you real quick. It's just 5 things. The 20% job description, it's practice, because you got to know what to say, right? You got to know how to say it. Number 2, lead generation. Grant Wise just outlined a system through Whitley that you can even take that lead generation, put it on autopilot. Then it really becomes about lead conversion. So point number 3 is lead follow-up, right? We're going to talk a lot about that today. The natural byproduct of the first 3 things are the next 2 things on the 5 points of a job description. Going on appointments, negotiating contracts. Again, it's those of you who have figured it out. You figured out how to give an inordinate amount of your time to those 5 things. You're the ones that are going to crush it this year and next. Just 5 things. With tenacity in those 5 things, when you give an inordinate amount of your time to those 5 things, you'll hit momentum. Now, momentum, one of my favorite words. It's the greatest magnifier. When we possess momentum, we look 10 times better than we actually are. You lack momentum, look 10 times worse. Take a locomotive going 55 miles an hour. It'll crush through a 6-foot wall of concrete that's reinforced by steel. It'll keep going. Take that same locomotive in a stationary position, a 2-inch block under one of the wheels. It won't get going at all. So today I want to help you remove some of those blocks. Let's get you to the position of momentum. Yet once you get to momentum, to avoid this kind of back and forth nature, meaning that you get to momentum, you get sucked down in the weeds, you stop the pipeline phase. So you have one great month, January. It's awesome. I love real estate. What happens in February because you're sucked down in the weeds? Depression. I can't stand real estate. I'm going to go get a quote unquote real job. But then you work in February. What happens in March? Because you're focused on the 20% in February, right? Get back to moment, or you're focused on it in March. And then, so April then turns out to be pretty good. You guys with me? And it's this roller coaster of activity. It's a lot of stress, anxiety, worry. Let's eliminate that altogether by giving most of your time to those 5 things. Once you're at momentum, the key is to get to leverage. Now, 4 categories of leverage is models, systems, technology, and people. And while I could go deeper on each of those points, I do want to get you out of here on time. We'll eventually hit this position of mastery. To me, it's a lifetime journey. Malcolm Gladwell will tell you it takes 10,000 hours to master anything. So which phases are you in right now? And what we commit to doing this week to get even an inch closer to the next phase of the model, turn to the person next to you, rather. I want you to share with them what you're going to commit to this week to go from the phase that you're at to the phase you want to be at. Go for it. All right, gang, everybody, do me a favor. Count of 3, just say shh. 1, 2, 3. Shh. All right, so I'd usually clear that out. Yet, here's what we're going to cover today. We're going to go through the 4 big reasons why agents aren't converting leads. Grant has his methodology. I have mine. You're going to hear just post position today, and that's okay. Next, we're going to go through the structure of an incoming call. And you say, well, Sean, the phone doesn't ring like it used to. I totally get that. Yet when it does, they chose to call off your sign instead of open their Zillow app. You guys with me? These types of leads are golden. They are solid gold, and we can't squander the opportunity. Next, we'll talk about the structure of a lead follow-up call. See, I think when people know what to say, know how to say it, then they'll have the mindset to say it to enough people. And those are the 3 things in which you can control in real estate sales. All right, so why are some agents not able to convert leads? On page number 2 of your outline today, number 1, it's response time. Response time. So California Association of Realtors did a case study for all of us. Now this big gold bar on the left is the consumer's expectation in terms of the response time. So you can see instant response, 49% of the real estate buyer prospects that were surveyed said they demand an instant response and they're disappointed if they don't get it. Only 8% of agents are actually delivering an instant response. Less than 30 minutes, 29% are still satisfied. Only 7% of agents being able to do that. Less than an hour, 16% are still satisfied. 11% of agents are doing that. Less than 2 hours, 4% are still satisfied. Less than 4 hours, 2% are still satisfied. Yet look, 24%, 1 in 4 agents is getting back to people in less than 4 hours. Same day, nobody's happy. Yet 13% of agents are doing that, more than 24 hours. 10% of agents are getting back to them like next day or even the day or 2 after that. So what does this case study tell you? It's all about response time, right? It's all about speed to lead, yes? Now, that's the interesting thing about this case study. It was completed back in 2014. Let me ask, has the consumer's expectation risen or dropped over the course of the last 8 years? Talk to me. Risen way up. And it's not your fault. It's not my fault. It's because of companies like Amazon. If I can order something this morning, it's going to hit my house, my front doorstep by 3 o'clock this afternoon. Really? Why can't my realtor answer their phone? I can take this envelope that says FedEx on it and put it in that metal box out there. It'll be in Florida by 9 a.m. Why is my brochure box empty? You guys with me? It's because of the extrinsic pressure that you and I get to up our game, no doubt about that. Let's go to the next point. Number of attempts. Now, Top Producer, in coordination with 5 Street, did a case study for all of us to learn from, okay? Number of attempts. Now, here's what they learned. The average number of attempts for a lead, for a realtor to contact a lead that they, mind you, paid for, and the average cost was about $7.25 per lead. The average number of attempts was just 1.2 times before the realtor just threw it away. 1.2 attempts. In the same case study, they said if you attempt to reach a prospect 6 times over a 6-day period, your ability to convert them from a prospect to a client increases by, hear this, 900%. You've heard it said 1,000 different ways. The fortune is in the follow-up, no doubt about that. So I recommend this. Oh, by the way, thanks to the digital marketing revolution, 2 distinct categories of leads these days. Number 1 is in the dreaming phase, right? The next phase is the actual listing or buying phase. And if we ignore them during the dreaming phase, they're going to ignore us when they get to the listing and buying phase. Yet, I recommend this approach. It's the 3x3 approach. That means 3 attempts per day to reach this prospect for the first 3 days in a row. If you can't reach the prospect, then it's 3 attempts per week for the next 3 weeks in a row. So it's like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If you still haven't reached the prospect, 3 attempts per month for the next 3 months in a row. Now, the 3 attempts per day for the first 3 days in a row, I'd recommend 2 phone calls and 1 text. 3 attempts per week, I'd just recommend 3 attempts by phone, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. 3 attempts per month for the next 3 months in a row. Next point, they're not efficient with their time. They mean to get around to it, but they say yes to all the 80% work, therefore they never get around to the 20% work. You guys with me? So I wanted to share one simple strategy with you. I call it the 4D approach. So it's D like Delta. I'd like for you to write this down. And anytime you think of doing something, guys, and I mean anything, just ask yourself first, can I ditch it? Does that even need to be done at all? Now, when I learned of the 4D approach, I was probably 22 or 23 years old. I was a buyer's agent on a team. I was closing over 100 buyer-side transactions, several $100,000 commission months as a very young man, which wasn't probably a good thing. I wasted a lot of it. Yet, bottom line is, when I learned about this, I looked at my schedule. I looked for my time bandits. And I was personally attending every one of these home inspections that I did with my buyers. Now, closing over 100 buyer sides per year, it was well over 100 inspections per year. You guys with me? Even if you narrowed it down or rounded it down to 100, the average home inspection, including drive times, takes what's about 3 hours. Would you guess? So 3 times 100, that's 300 hours. How many of you guys good at math? Divide that by a 40-hour work week. That's 7.5 weeks of my life that I was sitting at home inspections. Now, you may choose to go on your home inspections. I only use this as an example so you can get your arms around the concept, right? And if you choose to do it, that's fantastic. I just felt, if the furnace is broken, the furnace is broken. I'm not going to put on a tool belt and fix it, in other words, right? It was my job to negotiate the inspection repairs. So it took some education, and yet I was able to get 7.5 weeks of my life back, reallocate it to 20% work. By the way, first time I presented to a buyer and I said, I'm not physically going to be present for your home inspection. I thought they were going to, pick up the chair out of the conference room floor and throw it through the window and storm out of the office and slam it in my face, right? And when I got to that point in my presentation, I said, now I won't personally be present during your home inspection. However, I will negotiate the inspection repairs for you. What do you suppose they said? Okay. Okay. So I never went on another home inspection. So second D, can I delegate it? Who can do that for me? Once again, I wanted to look at my time bandits, right? I want to find out where can I become more efficient to increase my sales and my income in the process. Looked at my schedule, 4 to 6 hours per day invested in a lead follow-up. Lead follow-up with buyer prospects that probably weren't going anywhere. Yet I would do that day after day after day because I couldn't stand that nauseating, that kind of sick, gut-wrenching feeling that you get when you follow up with a prospect a week too late to have them say, oh, Sean, I wish you would have called me last week. We just went under contract. Ouch, right? So I thought, can I delegate it? Well, I had one assistant who was unlicensed, couldn't delegate to her. I thought, who else benefits when I close a transaction? Any ideas? the lender. So I contacted my favorite lender. I said, Steve, listen to me. I want to give you the chance of earning the business of every one of our buyer prospects. And by the way, we have a lead generation machine here, as you know. Yeah, you got to earn that right. And Steve said to me, he said, Sean, what do I have to do? I said 3 things, Steve. Number 1, you got to follow up with every one of my buyer prospects till they buy or die. Can you do that for me? He said, by the way, what would you guys say? Absolutely. He said, Sean, that's my job. Of course I'd do that for you. I said, number 2, you got to meet with money on a weekly basis. We'll have our pipeline report. What was the last point of communication, the next planned point of communication, and how would you rate this prospect on a scale from 0 to 10 in terms of motivation? I said, no problem. We set it up for Friday morning, standing meeting, and we just knocked it out. And I said, 3rd, you've got to edify me. You got to use my script, in other words. Here's how the first script went. Hi, John, this is Steve with XYZ Mortgage Company, and Sean Kokoska asked me to give you a call. And before I begin, I just want to take a moment and commend you on your selection of a realtor. You know, Sean is by far the best realtor I've ever come across. I've been doing this for 32 years. How'd you get in touch with Sean? Now, if I said that, that would be ego-based, right? See, they can sell you better than you can sell yourself, and vice versa. You can sell them better than they can sell themselves, yes? All right, so moving on. Can you do it later? Now, this only works if you got a specific time block set aside for that task. Otherwise, it turns into procrastination. Bottom line is this: if it's not in your schedule, it doesn't exist. Point number 4, do it now. Now, that is the last resort, right, gang? Most people I know, they want to do everything right now. They end up with 15 projects all working simultaneously. They're not accomplishing a darn thing because their focus is far too diluted. They mistake movement for achievement. In fact, write that down, please. Don't mistake movement for achievement. That's the 80% stuff, right? Next is they don't know what to say. They just don't know what to say, nor how to say it, and therefore they don't say it to enough people. Now, how many of you guys, honestly, how many of you want more appointments? If so, show me your hands really high if you want more appointments. I hate to make this so simple, yet if you want more appointments, all you need to do is create more conversations. That's really it. Even a salesperson without a ton of skill, you guys, if they talk to enough people, they're going to set more appointments. Yet you've also got to know what to say. You got to know how to say it. So, goals of the prospect. I think it's important to understand this first. What does your prospect really want? Like Grant says, you can't give them what they need. You have to give them what they want. Their first goal is to eliminate the property. Believe it or not, their first goal is to eliminate the property from their search because they want to invest their time wisely. Like, let's say you're in the market for an old muscle car. 1968 Super Sport Camaro. So you go to autotrader.com. You go to the Chevy section. You go to the Camaros. You want it black. You want it to be, beefed up and engine rebuilt and low miles. You want the interior to be perfect. So you go to the Camaro section. You immediately go into elimination mode. Am I right? Yeah, oh, that's red. I want black. How many miles? Oh, geez, too many miles. Cross it off the list. Then you find one that you're kind of interested in. You call that seller, and you've got a very shallow agenda, right? And if you get the right answer to the question that you have, you'll stay engaged. If you get the wrong answer, you want to, next is to eliminate the salesperson, right? To eliminate the person who's selling the car. So their goals are first to eliminate the property, second to eliminate you. Yeah, I want to talk to you about the structure of the incoming call. Number 1, transition script. 2, log into MLS. 3, build rapport based on their needs. Number 4, position yourself to possess something we want. Number 5, we're going to close for an appointment. Number 6, we're going to handle objections. Number 7, we're going to qualify. We're going to blast through this real quick, okay? So, very quickly, transition scripts. We're going to start with this transition script on incoming calls. Go ahead and fill in the blanks with me on page number 3. Transition scripts pull the prospect off of their shallow agenda and onto yours. They're usually something the prospect doesn't expect. So as a result, transition scripts, they kind of jar the prospect and allow you to take control of the conversation. So real quick, incoming calls. Generally speaking, you're going to get the question, how much is it? Yeah? How many of you gotten a call like that? Hey, calling on 123 Main Street, how much is it? Now, what happens if you give a short, direct answer to the question? Because we're living in this cause and effect world, right? The action is you could just give them the price. Oh, it's the market for $799,000. What happens? They hang up. Oh, thank you very much. Do buyer prospects call on properties they can't afford? It happens every day. So you say it's on the market for $799,000. They say, oh, thank you, click. They eliminated the property. They eliminated you. Next. Tell them all about the home and how wonderful it is. And you can overtalk a sale, right? So I think they'll want to eliminate you perhaps through this process if you do just that. Next action, you can tell them about your company and how great you are. I think you'll get a dial tone. Now what we want though is we want to get a valid name and number, and we want to schedule an appointment, ideally in a professional environment. Don't just run out and meet them at a house, okay? It's kind of dangerous out there these days. So how do we do that? What's the action required? It's to master the first 5. Just the first 5 seconds of this incoming call. Now, I need a volunteer, not a voluntold. Fantastic, stand up for me. Was it Kathleen? Heather, I was close. Heather, and all right, Heather, here we go. Let's fire this thing up. Now, let me tell you what Heather's in for, and maybe you'll want to sit down after I tell you. You're going to demonstrate how to master the first 5 seconds of an incoming call, okay? I'm going to be the buyer prospect. I'm calling you, and you're going to master the first 5 seconds, okay? Are you ready? Go, Heather. How many of you wish that you were Heather right now? See, Heather's going to do what I called in my office, and take it in the spirit I mean it, dare to suck. No, seriously, dare to suck, meaning what comes out of her mouth, yes, it might suck, and guess what? That's okay. Because you know what Heather's doing? She's failing forward. She's learning faster than anyone else. She's stretching her mind, and once her mind is stretched, it never goes back to its original form, yes? Well, thank you very much, Heather. That's very kind. So she's going to just do what I call dare to suck. Now, here's what I need you to do. I just need you to read the screen, word for word. Don't change a single word. Can you do that? Okay. Hi, Heather. This is Sean. I'm calling on 123 Main Street. How much is it?
That's a great property. Seems like everyone's calling about that one. So, are you in the market to buy a home, or are you looking to rent?
Oh, I'm looking to buy.
Fantastic. As I look that property up, tell me, what price range are you comfortable with?
Oh, between $2 million and $3 million. How'd she do? Bravo.
Can I do for the next
Now,
one? Thank
by
you.
the way, Heather, how difficult was that?
That was super easy.
It was a breeze. Yet, see, we all have this internal dialogue, don't we? We have this internal dialogue that I have named MIC. M-I-C, it's an acronym. It stands for My Inner Cynic. And if we tend to listen to Mick, we're liable to make a few errors in judgment every day. And Mick tends to take something that's so simple and build it up to be something that you can't do. Are you guys with me? Have you ever built something up so much in your mind that you're terrified of it, and you finally take action and it turned out, hey, that was actually pretty easy? Yeah? Well, we've all done that. Now stay with me, Heather, okay? Because this was a transition script. And what Heather did is I call keep the bull. Meaning, you're the matador, you're out in the middle of the arena, right? You got your red sash, and the bull is out there, and it's charging at you. See, the bull is the buyer's agenda questions. Is it in the LTSD school district? How many bedrooms does it have? What's the acreage? See, that's the bull. How much is it? That's the bull question. It's charging at you. If you give a direct answer to that question, imagine the bull just got you by the horns. You end up face down in the dirt in the middle of the arena. You're going to be removed on a gurney because that call is over. You're dead. You guys with me? Yet a transition script allows you to keep the bull. The bull runs right past, and you just keep fighting the fight. So I want you to go through a couple of other transition scripts and a couple examples. So transitions are pattern interrupts. It causes that break state in the mind of the prospect. So here we go. You ready? Calling on 123 Field Street. How much is it?
Oh, you must be another one of the neighbors.
No,
Oh, so you're in the market to buy a home.
I sure am.
Fantastic. As I look that property up, tell me, what price range are you comfortable with?
How'd she do? She caped the bull, did she not? She absolutely caped the bull. Now, in this just 5 seconds, she accomplished 3 powerful things, did she not? 3 things. Tell me, what did she accomplish? She qualified them as a buyer. What else did she do? Got the price range before you shared any information. I love it. What else did she do? Most importantly, she took control of the conversation. You guys with me? See, the person talking in the conversation, sure, they dominate the conversation, yet the person who's asking questions controls that conversation. She's now 100% in control of the direction of this conversation. Y'all with me, right? Okay, so let's give them one more. As I said, it's usually something the prospect doesn't expect. 123 Field Street, how much is it?
Excellent. Are you looking to buy just one home?
Yeah, just one.
Fantastic. As I looked that property up, tell me, what price range are you comfortable with?
Between 2 and 3 million. Now, let's go to the next step. It's to log into the multiple listing service, okay? That's the next step. We already talked about this question. Do prospects call on properties they can't afford? The answer is undoubtedly yes. It happens every day. So once you get my price range between 2 and 3 million, take it away.
Good for you. Real quick, I'm logging into our multiple listing service platform, and in a matter of moments, I'll be able to share all the information about the property you called me about. Plus, I'll let you know how many more homes are currently on the market that match your specific search criteria. So tell me, how many bedrooms would you like to have? Baths, garage, etc.
And you guys know the questions to ask, right? Now, there's 3 powerful words. It starts with the word so, and then tell me. So tell me assumes a yes. Would you like never works in sales. Would you like for me to do that for you? It's a closed-ended question. The answer is no, I don't want you to do that. No. So tell me assumes a yes. How many bedrooms would you like to have? How many bathrooms? How many car garage? What lot size? Newer home, older home? Does it matter what style of home? You want a 2-story? You want a walkout basement? I mean, what does this look like? Get them to describe it. Now, step 3 happens almost automatically. You build rapport based on their needs. So I want you to fill in these blanks on page number 5. And by the way, let's give it up for Heather. Come on, Heather. Way to go. Thank you for volunteering. And you just keep that microphone. Just take it home with you. It's your parting gift. All right. So it's about me. It's never about me. Excuse me. It's always about them. In this phase, you're going to determine what they want and what they need. And then you're also going to demonstrate your ability to give them what they want. Okay, point number 4. This also happens automatically. You position yourself to possess something they want. And when you've got something that they want, then it's relatively easy to set an appointment. So, for example, you might say, hey, good news. There are 8 listings active and on the market that match your specific search criteria. Now it's time to close for an appointment. That's step number 5. Now, before I just give you the closing strategy, I just want to share some stats with you of your competition. Go ahead and fill in the blanks with me on page number 6. This is based on the research from an author of the book, No Bull Selling, okay? Now, with his team and their independent research, they actually called realtors and had conversations with them. They were doing sign calls about listings that they had. What they learned is that 44% of agents never ask for an appointment. They're order takers. Now, even a blind squirrel finds a nut from time to time. You guys with me on this, right? Meaning the buyers actually close them. They say, oh, call it on Field Street. How much is it? They say, oh, it's on the market for $799. Oh, perfect. That's in my price range. How many bedrooms does it have? Well, it's got 4 bedrooms. How many bathrooms does it have? It's got 3 bathrooms. How many car garage? Oh, it's 3 car garage. Sounds perfect. When can you show it to me? And the buyer closes the realtor. You guys with me? See, you're the salesperson. How many of you guys salespeople? How many despise the word? We're all salespeople. You guys with me? We're all salespeople. So 22% of agents, they only asked once before they let the prospect off the phone, just once. They didn't even try to overcome the objection. They didn't try to ask again. They just gave up. Another 34% of agents gave up after asking twice for an appointment. 14% gave up after asking just 3 times. Another 12% quit after asking 4 times. Now, if you add that together, that's 92% of real estate sales agents, they gave up after they asked 4 times for an appointment. Now, in the book, he cites this. He says 60% of buyers will say yes after the 5th time you ask, and I'm talking about the same phone call. So the buyer says something like, well, let me talk with my wife, I'll call you back. Most agents don't push again, do they? Okay, well, when you call back, be sure to ask for me. My name's Sean. Bye. Not very effective, is it? Not very effective. And you can't lose what you don't already get, so you might as well go for it. They also said that that means, if you do the math, 8% of sales agents, they wind up with greater than 60% of the business due to their ability to ask for what they want. So I want to enhance that today. Is that okay with you all? Yeah. Because when you master this, you're going to make twice the money this year than you did last year. It's all about how you ask for what you want. So I want to introduce you to this concept, the ABCs of selling. And don't think it's always be closing. That's super cheesy. It never did anybody good. Okay? The new ABCs are action, benefit, commitment. So you, as the salesperson, you're going to outline the action. What do you want them to do? In this case, let's simply set an appointment for you to meet at my office. Or let's meet at my mortgage company's office, my title company's office. Worst case is, let's meet at Starbucks. Don't just run out and meet them at a property, please. It's dangerous out there. By the way, if you meet them at the property, where's their attention? Is it on you? Nope. It's on the house. Meet him at Starbucks at a bare minimum, okay? So you outline the action. Now, anytime you ask a prospect to take an action, and this goes for all of our partners in the back as well, there's a question that appears in their mind, am I right? What do you suppose that question is? Why? What's in it for me? The old acronym, WIIFM. What's in it for me? So we immediately follow with the benefit. So you put it on a silver platter. Say, here's what's in it for you. Excuse me. Here's why you should say yes. So I've added in some NLP as well. Like the word fortunately, it's an adverb presupposition. Now there's nothing fortunate about what's going to come out of your mouth next. You use that word and guess what? They look for things to feel fortunate about. So fortunately, in order to get you one step closer to achieving your goal, all we need to do now is simply set an appointment for you to meet via Zoom or at my office. And we segue right into the benefit. Now here's my question. Why would somebody want to meet with you? Seriously, why would somebody want to meet with you? If I were to buy a home in your market area, why should I choose you to meet with? Then after you outline the benefit, segue right into the commitment, and I prefer alternative choice. So tell me, when is the best time for us to get together? Is it weekdays or weekends? Now here's what I want you to do right now. I want you to write out a few benefits. Why would somebody want to meet with you? What's in it for them? Just write it out in your workbook. Why would somebody want to meet with you? What's the benefit? What's in it for them? Off-market opportunities. Way to go, Kayla. Off-market opportunities. How many of you have access to off-market listings? Anyone? What we call in the industry pocket listings. Anybody have some of those? People have told you, well, I don't want to list it just yet, but I'm thinking about selling it. Anybody have something like that? Like coming soon or something? Maybe a list of old expireds. Maybe you're tracking all the for sale by owners that are not available through MLS, right? These are off-market opportunities, right? Great benefit. What are some other benefits?
Availability for showing?
Availability for showing, absolutely. Other benefits, talk to me. What do all buyers want? Remember Grant said, can't give them what they need, got to give them what they want. What do they want?
The best deal.
The best deal.
Negotiation strategy.
Negotiating strategies. What else? Lowest interest rate, maybe? You guys with me on this, right? So for example, you've gone through steps 1 through 4. You're at step number 5. It's time to set the appointment. So you say, fortunately, in order to get you one step closer to achieving your goal, all we need to do now is simply set an appointment. We can meet over at the Starbucks at the corner of whatever and whatever, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to print off all these listings. I'll bring my laptop and my tablet. And I'm going to walk you through all of the pictures, the virtual tours, the drone footage, and floor plans. That way, you can view them on screen with me, educating me on what you're looking for, rather than driving by them and wasting your time and gas. Additionally, I'm going to share with you several proven negotiating strategies to help you get the best price on the home that you buy. And then finally, I'm going to bring you a list of off-market options. So ideally, you can buy your home without any competition whatsoever. So tell me, when is the best time for you to get together with me? Is it weekdays or weekends? Is this making sense to you guys? See, your ability to get what you want is based on your ability to ask for it the way you need to ask for it. Yes? All right. So we're going to move through this real quick. Don't worry, we're already at step 5. There's only 7. Step number 6, we're going to handle objections. Now, there are 10 common buyer objections. We're not going to get into them. Yet the most common one you're going to get is, let me speak with my wife or husband and I'll call you back. How many of you guys ever heard that before? How many of you let them off the phone? Did they call you back? They never call you back. So what they're doing is they're playing good guy, bad guy, okay? I'm the good guy, my wife is the bad guy, right? So all that all sounds great, but let me talk with my wife, I'll call you back. Here's what I'd recommend. There's 4 steps to handling objections. Number 1, got to acknowledge the objection. They're not going to be open to hearing what you have to say until they know they've been heard, okay? So I definitely understand that you might want to speak with your wife before you might set an appointment with me. Yet let me ask, in step number 2, we're going to isolate the objection. Other than just meeting with your wife, is there any other reason you wouldn't set an appointment to meet with me? No, Sean, that's the only reason. Let me just talk with her and I'll call you back. Let me quickly ask, now you can handle the objection, that's step number 3. Let me quickly ask, if it's okay with you, your wife, to meet with me, is it okay with you? Now remember, they're the good guy, so what's the answer always going to be? Yep. Yes. Of course, yes, I just need to talk with her first. Well, let's do this. Let's simply pencil in a time that you think is going to work for you, your wife, and I to get together I'll call you this evening at 6 o'clock to confirm the appointment. If it works, fantastic. If it doesn't, we'll simply reschedule the appointment. So tell me, when do you think is the best time for you, your wife, and I to get together? Is it weekdays or weekends? You guys with me on this? So then just say, I said I'd call you back at 6, yet what time specifically, when your phone rings, can you answer it? Well, call me at 6:30. Okay, I'm going to set an alarm on my phone, and your phone is going to ring at exactly 6:30. Do you promise me you're going to pick it up? Do we have a deal? How are we doing? Yeah. All right, moving on. Point number 7 is to qualify. There's 3 areas to qualify. Number 1, the needs of the prospect. Number 2, motivation. And number 3 is financial. Now, you've already done a live MLS search for this prospect, so we can kind of check that yes box that the needs have been qualified. There are 7 listings that match your criteria. You guys with me? Okay. Then it's about motivation. Now, by the way, your ability to qualify the needs of the prospect is directly determined by your knowledge of the market. So if you're newer to this business, I would encourage you, get out and preview 2 or 3 homes a day. Seriously. Start getting to know the neighborhoods, school districts, lot sizes, floor plans, ages of construction in this area versus that, price points, and so on and so forth. So moving on. Fill in the blank with me. Page 9. Motivated prospects are located, they're not created. What does that mean? It's the prospector that moves the most dirt that's going to find the most gold, right? Motivated prospects are located, they're not created. So I've got 4 qualifying questions on motivation on page number 9. Number 1, do you need to sell your existing house before you purchase your next home? They say, nope, I'm in a month-to-month lease. Fantastic. Okay. Question number 2, how soon would you like to be in your new home? Well, the next 90 days. Perfect. So tell me, on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being an immediate desire to buy a home, 1 means you're just curious, how would you rate yourself? I'm a 8. What needs to happen for you to become a 10? I just need to find the right house. Is that type of buyer you want to work with? Yes or yes? Yes. Absolutely. So you've qualified motivation. Then it's about financial. Now this, first off, we'll fill in the blanks real fast. Determine the prospect's ability to purchase a home, obviously. Number 2, get permission for your lender to contact them. So if you just give them the lender's name and phone number, gang, they're never going to call them. You guys with me? Get permission for your lender to call them, then obtain the pre-approval before showing them homes. I know this is second nature to a lot of you. Yet, financial qualifying, I'm going to share a simple 3-step process with you that when you master this, you will make hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars over the course of your career with this one simple strategy. And it's outlined on page number 9. Step number 1. Let me ask, are you paying cash or obtaining financing? Now, I never asked a buyer prospect, are you pre-qualified or pre-approved? Never asked. Or have you spoken with a lender? Never asked that question. Why? Why do you think? They're going to say yes. I'll give you another reason. Because I don't give a shit. Sorry. I really don't. I don't care. I don't care if you're pre-qualified because that pre-approval letter is not worth the paper it's printed on. I'm not kidding you. I contacted a lender here in Austin. My wife and I, we just bought a new home in October. I contacted this gal, first time I've ever spoken with her before. And she asked me a few questions about my income. And I've got a really complex situation going on over here with my tax returns and investment opportunity, properties and things of this nature. And she says, okay, well, based on what you've told me, I'm going to send over a pre-approval letter for $4.5 million. I said, that's fantastic, yet you haven't even pulled my credit. You haven't analyzed my tax returns, and you're going to send me a pre-approval letter. See, I learned this lesson early in my career. Person has a pre-approval letter. They bring it to me. We have our first appointment. I take them out the first weekend. Showed them like 15 homes. Difficult buyer. Take them out the next weekend. Showed them another 15 homes. Pull them out the third weekend. Finally, narrow it down to the one they want to buy. I write, negotiate the contract. We scheduled the inspection. Went through the inspection resolution. Get a call from the lender about 2.5 weeks later. Sean, we can't get a loan program for them. They can't qualify. It's not worth the paper it's printed on. And that's why I say I don't give a shit, because I don't give a shit. Okay? So the next question, and I don't care if they say, you say, oh, are you paying cash or obtaining financing? You say, oh, I'm already pre-approved through Wells Fargo. I got an 800 FICO score. I got all of it. I'm ready to roll. Well, that's awesome. Let me ask, would it be okay with you if I help you save money? Guys, that is always a yes. Always a yes. Then you go back to the ABCs. What do they stand for again? ABC?
Action, benefit, commitment.
Action, benefit, commitment. So the action is, I'd like to get permission for my lender to give you a call. That's the action. Now this lender consistently beats other lenders in our market area, both in closing costs and interest rates. And let's face it, even a 1/8% difference in interest rate on a 30-year mortgage could affect your out-of-pocket by tens of thousands of dollars. So tell me, when is the best time for my lender to give you a call? Is it weekdays, weekends, or in the next 30 minutes? How does that feel to you guys? Maybe a little bit more effective than what most agents do? What do you think? See, when your lender then calls them and edifies you, you're the best realtor on the face of the planet, it greases the skids toward an easier transaction, right? Okay, so other qualifying questions on page number 10. There's just 2 questions that need to be asked still. I assume that because you contacted me directly, you're not contractually obligated to purchase your home through another agent. Is that correct? Now, most agents, how do they say it? Are you working with a realtor? Well, guess what? NAR will tell you that the average buyer talks to 12 agents before they buy a house. Are they working with another realtor? I want to know, are you contractually obligated to buy your home through another agent? Well, no, Sean, I haven't signed anything. That's fantastic. One other question here, and I'll let you go. Is there anything that I should have asked you that I didn't that would better help me understand your situation? That's it, gang. 7 simple steps. What do I call that in our coaching together, by the way? It's called the puke.
Oh, yeah.
We call it the puke. How many of you guys saw the movie Semi-Pro? Anyone? With Will Ferrell? Anyone? Yeah, these guys over here are my kind of guys. See, I love that stupid humor. It allows me to unplug my brain a little bit, stops this from constantly turning, right? And I just enjoy those kind of stupid humor movies. Yet, in the movie, Will Ferrell is not only the basketball team owner, he's also the head coach, and he's also the team captain. He plays on his own team, right? It's called the Tropics. Now, throughout the movie, they lose every single game. But then he hires in this other player. Ultimately, the team members promote this other player. It was Woody Harrelson, promote him to head coach. And the first thing he did, he said, we're going to run this one play. We're going to run this one play until each one of you physically gives up your cookies, literally. And they ran it clear through the night until every one of the players literally just gave it up. He called it the puke. Now, why would he have him run that one play over and over and over again? What do you think?
Master it.
Master it. So when everything's on the line and you're under massive pressure, you have that muscle memory. So I want you to treat this 7-step formula like the puke play, okay? Seriously, I'm not kidding. Just practice it to the point of nauseam, seriously. Because I promise you, when the call comes in and you're under pressure, and by the way, that call comes in right after you just spilled a hot cup of coffee all over your desk, am I right? Oh yeah, I'm calling on 123 Field Street. How much is it? You got this muscle memory, guys. Practice this until you want to vomit, and I promise you, you will make enough money to support yourself, your loved ones, at a very high level for years and years to come. So I've gone well over on time, guys. I'm going to let you all run. Please, if you've got a few extra minutes and you don't mind being on our promotion video, just little snippets here and there, we would love to have you on it. We'd love to hear a testimony. What did you learn? Why should somebody attend? Let's get some more people here next time. Sound good? Yes. All right, guys. Thanks for your time. Thanks for being here. Way to go.
Sean's 4-step that he talked about, like just implementing on the follow-up with all the leads that you get and not just getting stuck and keep trying, because some people just stop at the second try and they don't follow up again. So just keep trying and implement that into all of the leads that I get. They definitely should take the time and invest in their business and don't take it as taking time out of your day to come to this presentation. It's all about networking and creating those relationships because you never know when you're going to need them. It's free. It's just commitment of coming here, and that's all that it takes. They're all different presentations, so definitely continue to learn from everything they have to say. You're not here, you're missing out.
The marketing strategies that they were talking about, and also the scripts, which are really good when you need to convert a lead into a person who you can work with. Well, it will help a lot, especially for the money, right? If you want to sell some homes and bring more income to your house, I think that's the one. If someone didn't come here, I think they're missing a huge opportunity, but because first, it is free, and then second, it is a ton of information that they can immediately implement and start getting results. I'm going to start implementing the scripts for sure, because I didn't know how to talk with some leads. Sometimes they call and I don't know what to do. And I know the first 5 seconds are very crucial when you talk with a person that doesn't know you. So they totally crush it, like how can I talk with them? So that's the first thing I'm going to implement. So I feel like a lot of motivation and a lot of way how to do the steps, because sometimes I feel lost, like I don't know how to start or how to do the things. But here, when they give you like kind of step by step, it's like, oh, this is easier now. I can start doing this. I can start implementing this. So I feel motivated. I can organize my day, and of course, getting results. They're bringing really smart people and people with results. It's like people who are really have what you want in life. No, there are people who has like a $1 billion business. It's like, oh my God, that's the level that we want to achieve. It's totally worth it to come here.
Yeah, just here at ABOR, just had a fantastic session with Sean, Grant, and Rob. Extremely valuable information. I'm beyond excited to implement everything that we talked about today and take my business to the next level. It is like the history, the experience, the professionalism, everything that they have worked towards to be able to get that for free at this event is, you cannot put a price tag on it. Yeah, it's extremely practical. A lot of it is readily available for people that are either looking to invest financially in their business or needing to do things for free to get their business off the ground. It's available to everybody. Yeah, I would recommend to everybody. I've already been texting people today, texting people leading up to this event, that it's extremely valuable information. Yeah. I feel extremely challenged in a great way and in an inspired way. I would recommend, especially if you are new to real estate, don't have any habits yet, don't have any systems in place, absolutely get here, get involved, and surround yourself with people that have the experience and the time to guide you and lead you to starting your business. I'm seeing that my follow-up and certain practice strategies could be improved, and that's absolutely something I am going to be taking advantage of and addressing as soon as possible. Yeah, the follow-up is everything, and whether that's something that you automate through something like what Grant provides or something like what Sean was talking about where you're manually following up and touching base with people, there's value to both sides and skill to both sides. I would recommend looking into each of them individually as well as what they provide in this event as a whole. Yeah.